All right, what's up? What's up? So what's up, Summers? King Blair here. As the title suggests, we are going to be doing our first ever PVE stream. So how this is gonna go down is I realize I'm not a person that particularly does a lot of PVE content, guys. Partially because I feel that there's already so many guides out there, but I do also know that there's always people that have questions or that want to see different teams. So what we're gonna be doing today is essentially, if you have a question on any PVE content, I will not only show you the PVE content, I will actually try to do it, assuming it's not something like Abyss that's gonna take like 10 hours. But I will try my best to showcase it, show you why, explain it, walk you through it, make sure you got it. Make sure we're moving in the right direction. It's gonna be the first PVE stream ever. I don't know what else to do aside from PVE, because I don't want you guys just to watch me farm chill, right? So hopefully it's something fun for you guys. Hopefully you guys have a lot of ideas of things you guys would want to see, because that would definitely make it a lot easier. And I am gonna be popping a free unequip in case there's any content you guys would like to see. But as far as PVE content that I'm able to clear, I might do the Hall of Trials later on. Something I'll definitely do. Regardless of whether you guys asked or not, because I definitely have to do that. But definitely anything for hunts, I can do all 5 hunts, 13 now, all auto teams, except maybe Golem, because it's been a long time, although I do kind of remember how the Golem team worked. Abyss, 110, anything before that, I can probably try to walk you through it, make sure that it helps a little bit. Hall Trials, Raid, I haven't done any of the raid bosses, if there's something you want to see. Ottoman Tower, unfortunately, I can't do it because I already finished it, but tomorrow, I'm very excited for it. I wonder if, oh, they're not gonna let me do it. Yeah, they're not gonna let me go in again. That sucks. I wish they let you just do it for fun. Like, this is actually content that I would do for fun. Just for, like, it'd be really fun for content and things like that. Kaithes. Farming Kaithes is so annoying, dude. So, I definitely do agree that it's arguably one of the most annoying contents ever. They just made it really annoying. Let me make sure that my seaside is geared. I guess we can start with Kaithes, because that's usually the one that I usually farm doing hunt event. Not doing hunt events. It's hunt event right now. I usually farm Banshee. But I can showcase the team, kind of walk through why the team that I'm using for Kaithes works, and kind of walk over the gear. So I'll do that first. So as far as Kaithes, right? So farming Kaithes, Sermia is arguably one of my favorite units to actually farm Kaithes with. The big reason being she has one of the highest single target damage skill potentials, as well as having penetrate defense potential, right? So that's why I like her so much, as well as having a non-attack skill, which makes it so Kaithes just doesn't absolutely demolish you. So I kind of went with a very high damage build. I will say I'm only using attack set because I don't have a good rage set. Having a good rage set will make any single hunt significantly easier. If you don't have a rage set, it's going to be significantly harder, right? Because without rage set, you're missing like 30% damage, right? So this alone, not having the rage set, really cuts my Sermia's damage. The pen set does a lot of work just because the S1 is actually doing a bunch of damage, and it's actually really good pen pieces. Once I'm done farming Kaithes, I will likely take those pieces off and put it on someone else. The other unit I use is Seaside. She's only there for the decreased defense, and it's also nice that she has access to provoke. I typically do have her on Bloodstone, but right now it's on Landy, so let me get that off the Landy so I can actually show the Kaithes team and how annoying Kaithes farming really is. But I usually put her on Bloodstone. Again, you can pretty much switch her for any decreased defenser, but she's gonna be the one that takes the most damage on the team, because a lot of her like she doesn't have a non-attack skill, right? So she's getting all the damage from the Kaithes hunt. Then I also use Rowana, who I actually think it's almost a must-have unit for this hunt, just because of how much healing she really does. Without this passive, it's significantly harder to actually tank the Kaithes boss, and you're gonna have a really good healer and really good DPSs to actually make up for not having a Rowana just healing you every single time and giving you CR advantage. And then of course Tamarine, because Tama's Tama, she gives you attack buff, she cleanses, she dual attacks with Sermia. It makes life a lot easier. How to hit Dagger Sicart Hollow Trials. Okay, so I actually do know that one. I haven't done it. But the thing about Hollow Trials, how to actually hit it, I might try to get the artifact. But to get it right now, to actually get through it, you have to actually get the artifact. Without the artifact for Hollow Trials, you actually can't do it. It's just actually impossible. So without this artifact, you are not going to be getting really high on your Hollow Trials boss, right? So without this artifact, is like good luck, right? You're missing so much damage off of this. Oh yeah, I will do it. I'll definitely do it today. I'll definitely showcase it today. But let me show the Kaithes team first that I'm using. And you guys saw the team I was using for that. So let me Let me go to Kaithes. This is probably the hardest hunt. Not gonna lie, out of all the hunts, Kaithes hunt is by far the hardest. You actually need good gear for this hunt, and you actually need to have the units for this hunt. So it is going to be the hardest single hunt in Epic 7 is actually going to be Kaithes. Which makes sense because these sets are not for early game players. If you're an early game player, you should not even be looking at Kaithes. But yeah, this is a team. It has a pretty high win rate. It's not 100% because sometimes my Seaside decides to not land a single debuff. So I'll run it in the background and we can chill and talk, and I'll talk about how it runs and things of that nature. My normal morale team, I'll actually show it in a little bit, and I'll show that one after. Let me make a notepad of things that I want to show so I can actually go in order. So normal labby. So we start with Kaithes. So that's done. Then we have normal labby. That's a lot. You don't need 46 healer though. That's the big thing for high morale. That's what it is. I forgot that's how you call it. We'll do that one. Hey, what's up, Grits? And we'll see as more people come. I'll start writing it down. But okay, so basically for this first wave, I'm gonna stop repeat battle because I don't want to keep going. The big thing for this first wave, it makes it a lot faster. If Seaside lands a decreased defense, this wave goes like this, right? It didn't land, so it's gonna take a lot longer. But this first wave, essentially, it just is a time waster. It's just a time waster. The only way you make this fast is if Seaside lands a decreased defense, this is actually just free, right? Like he would just die. So if you have a reliable decreased defenser besides Seaside, honestly, I might try Furious. Because this team does really high damage. Like this is how much Sermia will one-shot with a decreased defense right there, right? But because I don't have it, I'm missing so much damage. So it's just a really slow wave. This is one of the reasons why Kaithes takes so long. Is because not only does the boss have the highest health percentage, this boss is like pretty tanky as well. And the only way to one-shot it is having a very good single target DPS. Sermia can actually one-shot him properly, but it's not even one-shot because she doesn't get attack buff on her own. Confala says, B, I tried and she dies too easily. So that's the big part. So the big part with this boss is for Seaside, she's kind of locked into having Bloodstone because without Bloodstone, this team doesn't have enough sustain. As far as like other options for this team, you could use Amelia over Tama. Rowana doesn't really have a replacement, so just another. You could probably use Momo. I would use Momo instead of if you don't have Rowana, I would just use Momo because you want to get the cleanses off. And then the Seaside replacement and the decreased defense that can take a lot of hits. Who would I replace Sermia with? Any high single target DPS unit, Rick's Raya will actually work. What a lot of people actually do is they will actually run Violet. Because Violet also has very high single target damage. And they'll give Violet a full DPS build, like a Rage set Violet, because Violet has dummy high single target DPS. Also because Violet is slow, they make sure that the Rage level on Violet is like decently high. So when the boss hits him, it does a lot more damage on there. And give Healing Ardent, I think you might have enough sustain to fix Tama. The thing about it, with Confile Seaside, the Seaside doesn't really take that many turns either. Like you'll see the Seaside barely ever moves. So that's one of the big reasons. And she starts taking so much damage later in this fight. And Potion is kind of needed just because I don't have a high FRS Tama. But yeah, you need high sustain. That's the big thing. If you're taking off Rowana, you're going to need nutty sustain because look how much damage they're doing onto you, right? Like they're consistently doing like 3,000 every time they go, like every rotation. And you need to be able to heal that as well as try to get the debuffs off, right? So that's what makes this hunt particularly difficult. So for actually doing this hunt, you do need to have high sustain, high damage. Sermia just fills that role beautifully. Just Sermia does way too much single target damage to actually take away. But yeah, it's a pretty simple one. Nothing too crazy. It's nice and easy. But there we go. And we just done. Yeah, Kaithes boss is easy. So easy time. While we watch this run and we wait for the next one, I'll probably do Labby next and show you guys my Labby team. Just like a way to show all the teams. But this one's actually Turtle Space. I usually, this is why I don't run it during hunt events, because it just takes way too long. So we'll do Labby next. But you can see how much damage Seaside is taking, and pretty soon, that's why Bloodstone is kind of needed on the Seaside, just so she's not just getting deleted. And Tama should have the S3 here, so she should be S3ing after this. And Bloodstone will help sustain. Oh, I haven't read Light Expedition, actually. That's a good idea. It's not out yet, is it? Does it come out next month? I know that's coming, and I'm actually genuinely concerned because Light Expo is gonna be a nightmare. So let me find it. So yeah, that one's gonna be huge. Let me actually find that one. Yes, that one's actually dummy scary, right? It looks hard from what I remember. Let's see. It was during the Belian stream. Let me know if you can hear the music too. If the music's too loud or anything. But let me pull that up. And you guys can see on the background. The team survives because Tim is helping sustain. Tim is helping heal. Tim is going to give us a ton of cycling here as well as healing. And then we'll be able to get the damage that we need to kill. And I think that run actually took like 7 minutes, which sucks, right? It's an average of 7-minute run, but at least I'm getting it done. At least I'm getting my pen set pieces, which is really, really good right now for current gameplay. All right. We'll talk about Light Expo next. We'll go to the hunts first, actually, and then we'll go to Lavi. That probably makes a lot more sense.
Okay. When the target is not a knight,
EE on Serm is the barrier EE because if you do the dual attack EE, right? If you do the double attack EE, but yeah, that's the run. We did it. Seaside lived, right? Because it's only up to 50% of the health is destructed. So yes, farming this sucks, but I really like the pieces that this set gives. As far as the EE on Sermia, you kind of have to go with the barrier EE because if you go with the dual attack, you stack up that danger level. So the big thing to keep in mind with this hunt is your big DPS for Kaithes has to be able to have a non-attack skill. Because if not, they're going to be getting focused down and you don't want your DPS to actually just get just marked, right? So that's the big one. The other one is you need sustain. If you don't have sustain, you're going to get killed because this boss does a lot of damage. And 3, for the last one, you have to have cleansing because if you can't cleanse, you're going to lose, right? So that's the most important thing. Everything else is just like having decreased defense just help things go a lot faster. But as far as Sermia, she's on this artifact just so... Because if I use this one... what ends up happening, this one's useless, right? This one gives us a survivability, and the S1, if you have that one, you get that danger level too high, and then Sermia starts getting focused. My Sermia does have some bulk to her, so she doesn't just get blown up by the boss, but it's not gonna do a lot, right? If the boss is focusing her down, you guys saw Seaside, and this is the Seaside, right? And she has Bloodstone and she has multiple healers. In one rotation, this Seaside was almost dying consistently near when you're at high danger level. So that's pretty big one, right? That's the big one. But Light Expedition, and then we'll go on to the hunts or the rest of the hunts. So as far as Light Expedition, this is gonna be the new expedition. I'm actually really excited for this one. So I'm actually really excited for this one because I actually am getting a lot of injury pieces and a lot of pen pieces that I'm gonna need things to actually reforge them with. So as far as this one, this looks like the S1. It's the surprise attack. So surprise attack attacks enemy, bleeding effects, and damage based on max health on all enemies except for the target. When the target has no buffs, extra turn with basic attack. When the target is not in a damage to the Kaithes. So this attacks the front row. And it's just doing AoE damage. Wow. That's making like squishy teams kind of scary already. And this is just the S1. And double bleed, I feel like ER frontline is going to be kind of needed for this one. Just looking at it, ER frontline is going to be kind of needed for this one. Already just looking at it. Because if you're getting hit with 5 bleeding effects for 5 turns, that's a lot of bleeds, right? You're going to slowly die. And hey, Tab, don't hate on PVE gaming. RTA right now is sucking, so that's why we're PVE gaming. The sound is still here. Wait. Oh, I can't hear it right now. But yeah, this one. Make it black. Oh, nice dealer. I need to do RTA again, but it's just I hate it. RTA right now is sucking for me. But for this one, let me see. This is the big skill, the S3. AoE cleanse, dispel, dispels a barrier. Buff and all debuffs from the caster before decreasing speed. What? This makes no sense. I don't know why this is making no sense to me. It just looks like this attack cleanses all your buffs, which is like, this is probably his big S3. Gives himself a barrier. This just makes no sense. The wording on this: attacks all enemies dispelling all buffs. Dispels a barrier. Unique effect. Buff and all debuffs from the... What? Am I reading this wrong? Like, am I just being like stupid the way I'm reading this for like Expo? This doesn't make sense to me grammatically. Maybe it's just too late at night and I can't read. The cast suggesting a barrier. This makes sense. If he has a barrier, you're getting dummy damage. And when he takes a turn, he reduces the skill cooldown of his skill by 1 turn. But that's interesting. That's interesting. And this looks like it's gonna be the elemental effect, right? That all of them have. He gets extra part. The 7th turn you kill. They always kill him berserk. When attacking, damage still increases by 20% of the target's dark elemental hero. TLDR, don't bring light into him, which is the same thing as the Dark Expedition one. For fire, water, and earth, you want to bring an element of the opposite, but for light, light and dark, you don't want to bring the opposite element. So that's cool. You know, it's since they don't have the elemental advantage against each other or disadvantage, it makes sense why it just does extra damage. So that makes sense. That's kind of expected. And this looks like the big one: isolation. And when the caster is not granted increased defense after being attacked, increased defense for 1 turn. This sounds so toxic, dude. This sounds so toxic. At the start of inflicts isolation. We don't know what isolation is. We know vampirism means he heals. Okay, for a boss, do they say what it is here? Oh, there's isolation. Only buffs and common energies that are granted on the caster turns applied. Ew. So no Tama. When it is not the caster's turn, cannot receive healing? What? Wait, this boss is kind of broken. This is a really weird debuff. This is a really good debuff for a boss. That's huge. Wait, that means that... Does this mean if you do S3? But it does get... Okay, so it gives you this. So you can actually sustain. Okay, that makes sense. But this one, that means you can't Tama. You can't attack both your own units. Penelope will get destroyed because she's dark. That's the only problem. Penelope is dark, so she'll take extra damage. Granted, he doesn't hit her. It looks like too much. But, wow. Interesting. No, you basically need units that self-attack buff with this. And self-buff. That's gonna be a really interesting event. So just looking at it, it kind of looks like, again, standard frontline. Pretty standard. Big damage on a unit. Dispel buffs. And it looks like you're just trying to DPS this down. Yeah. This all that looks like what it's gonna be, Ethan. Looking at this, that's what it looks like it's gonna be. And hey, what's up, Ethan? And yes, it's increased damage for dark when attacking. So it does extra damage on dark, not the other way around. You don't do extra damage to this boss, which sucks, right? You don't want to bring dark units into him. This is what it's targeting you with. Yeah, it's the other way around. It's the same thing as Dark Expo. So that's a cool boss, actually. That's a really cool boss. And hey, good morning, Ryuji. But it's a cool boss. It looks easy just because it looks like you legit just put a knight to frontline and 3 self-sustaining DPS units that do high single target damage, and you're set. Yeah, Ethan, that's what it looks like. Yeah, it just looks like a DPS. It looks like a very standard DPS and win type of team. Because you can't do any support, right? It's literally telling you can't heal if it's not your turn. So why are you going to pick a healing unit, right? So you're basically just picking 3 DPS units. They get vampirism from the boss. So you just want to do very high damage, single target units. You want to put a knight that can frontline, and you're set. You're done. That's it. That's the hunt. That's the expo. That's a really weird expo. That's a really easy expo. Yeah. Yeah. Anything that helps you heal will be nice. Vampirism would be pretty nice with haste because it lets you heal more units heal. I mean, it's and the thing about it is you don't want to bring too many buffs because it looks like he punishes buffs by giving you decreased defense if you bring buffs. So it's literally gonna be a DPS solo DPS type unit, right? And that's literally it. It looks like buffs. I don't know if Landy's that good for this one, just because you don't get a lot of the advantage that Landy gives to have, because you can't buff your team with speed buff, and the boss also strips your buffs at some point and like gives you decrease down, it looks like. So F Flurry, always nice because you always get decreased defense, you get passive healing, very standard frontliner. So pretty easy. All right, let's do the next one since no one hasn't sent me anything for PVE wise. Basket will be really nice because it does punish getting buffs, it looks like, right? It's tentative, so we'll actually have to see how it goes. It looks like something that you're not gonna have to build specific units for though. How did that be floor 105? All right, let me do that one first since that's a specific question, Ethan. 105 was actually just a unit check. I actually thought 105 was really easy. 105 was just the that's the BBK floor, right? This is the BBK floor? Yeah, the BBK floor was actually not that bad. The way I bit this one was Tempestor in frontline. I can show you the team. Tempestor in frontline. I did this. Tempestor in frontline, right? If it'll load. Bloodstone Landy. The reason why it's Tempestor in frontline for Abyss 105, the big reason is you need an Arby or a Tempestor because they cheat the boss. This will cheat the boss because it makes it so they will not die, right? That's the nice part. Bloodstone on Landy so you can actually sustain your team. Dizzy so you can actually land debuffs and take turns, right? I can't remember if it was Dizzy or another unit. I think it was Dizzy, and it was just she was just there to apply debuffs and then cycle the team out and make it so I could actually take turns. And then last but definitely not least, she kind of also helped carry a lot. DeLuca. This was the team, and it was like it took me 2 tries. It was really, really easy. This was the team that I used. Basically, first wave, she cheats the team. Landy is a sustain that also gives you speed buff, which is huge because you're taking extra turns. Dizzy's there to apply the debuffs. Luluka just gives you AoE decreased defense. You kill the ad on the BBK floor that does the no CR pushing, and you just cycle them with Landy and with Dizzy, and then they never take turns. So this team, all you're trying to do is just cycle. That's literally all this Abyss stage is. The front line, the first stage is probably the hardest part of this stage because the monster will one-shot a unit, but guess who can't be one-shot? Tempestor. Lifesteal Tempestor too, kind of necessary. Lifesteal Tempestor, Dizzy for support, DPS. So not a hard floor. It's just a unit check. It's a really big unit check because if you don't have these units and you don't have the gear, it's a massive gear and unit check because if you can't delete the BBK, you're gonna lose, right? So you need very high damage, and if you can't consistently have a unit to cheat the front line, you're not gonna do enough damage in the first stage. So Bloodstone kind of needed on Landy to keep your team alive. T-Cern on lifesteal so she doesn't just get blown up and she can actually self-sustain, and then the Dizzy to actually make sure that you actually can take turns, right? And Luluka for the AoE decreased defense. 101, I forgot what it was. Was this the Furious one? I think this might have been the Furious one, if I remember correctly. What was this guy's mechanics? The difference is a lot. Attacking damage still is increased. The enemy is a non-elemental hero. I'll just see what non-elemental hero and effectively increase. I think I just stunned this one, honestly. For this one, I think I just stunned. Like, just thinking about this boss, stunned poison kind of carried. So, I think I just stunned Tama, Ross, and like another support, just to make sure I didn't die. So, this Static kind of carried me on the stage. Not gonna lie, Static carried me on a lot of stage. I would actually have to look up this one. I just usually follow the guides on online. Let me see the one I use for this one. Because there are a lot of really good guides on how to actually beat this Abyss stage. And all Abyss stages, honestly. right? Some of these Abyss stages are just incredibly easy and really freaking nice to actually do. So this guy did Curious Cheese. So this guy did Curious Cheese. Level up together, actually. So he did Curious Cheese. A lot of people actually do Curious Cheese, though. Just because it's Poison Cheese, right? And Dizzy to actually land the debuffs, make sure you're not getting destroyed. Destina to heal. Basar probably to make sure you don't get buffed. Dr. Squirrel did it too. Let's see. He probably just used Stene. Oh, Curious Cheese. Right. So Dizzy, Curious Cheese. Again, it's just Poison Cheese, right? You can either use Curious. This is pretty important with Lela to get rid of the buffs and to actually stun. Tama, Iseria, I mean, it's just broken, right? It's just very standard. This is a very standard clear. You literally just play it like usual. Which a lot of Abyss is just usually just a unit check. And making sure that you put the units properly and take the time to actually do it. Let me see what... So again, this is the team I used. I used Carsic's team. I ended up using this team because she strips buffs. She strips buffs, which you need to do. She applies the poison, and the Tama is there for the healing and the extra damage, right? So this team clears most of Abyss, honestly. But yeah, it's not a bad stage. Personally, I didn't like it. 102. This stage is actually BS. This stage is actually like the worst stage in the game. Design wise, it's absolute doo-doo water. Same with 100. Yeah, Ethan, not having Stena and Dizzy is gonna make life a lot harder. But you saw some teams that don't really use Dizzy. If you don't have Dizzy, you can also use regular ball. Although the debuffs aren't as nasty to actually do. So was funny tab 102 was a nightmare. As far as PVE goes, if you had to ask me, this is the worst Abyss stage ever created in the history of Abyss stages. Because it's legit, like the whole point of this stage is Smage telling you poison and win. That's it. It's like, oh, you missed your poison? Try again, buddy. That's stupid. That's so stupid. This stage was so stupid. It was so poorly designed. It was just RNG or lose. I hate it 102. I don't want to think about it anymore. I blocked those painful memories from my mind. 109 is the same idea. I legit used the exact same team like 20 times until I got good RNG. And that's all you need for this one. That's legit all you need for this one. Because the stupid gargoyle stage, dude, it's just actually toxic. It's like 50% chance for you to not do damage. That's the passive. Yeah, this 20% chance, your whole goal is pray that this doesn't trigger. That's legit it. It was like, if this doesn't trigger, oh, it's free. You're done. GG. Get out. Like, easy. Right? But if this triggers, you just have to do it over and over and over and over and over and over and over. So depending on your RNG, this fight either took a very long time or was very short. Right? It was that easy. You either took 2 seconds. Easy. The first time I did... Oh, you did after buffs tab? I don't know how it was before buffs. But... Oh, this was so toxic. I don't know what they changed about this boss. I know that. But it was legit just RNG fest. So this one, follow a guide, and you'll definitely clear it pretty easily. It's just legit. It's a kitty cat, Ternorgard, Ross, and I forgot who the fourth one is. It might have been Tama. Oh, before nerfs. I did it before nerfs too, and it wasn't too bad, but it was just annoying because it's just praying for RNG. And I didn't like it. 100 feels very similar. I'm just gonna have to build Ternorgard because I really want these stones. And I really want these pieces. And I heard with Ternorgard, these are actually really easy. A lot of people actually already clear those. So these apparently are like free low. But these pieces are like actually kind of broken. Like this is, I want this on so many units, which is why I really want to clear this. This was kind of sus though. Unless it all goes into effectiveness, then it's not that sus. And then this is amazing. I mean, you can never say no to that. This is kind of... it's whatever. But I need to clear this one first. And this one, from what I remember, it's just build Ternorgard and have fun. So that's something I need to do. But okay. As far as the biz, if you have any questions on the other ones, a lot of them are honestly just having the right units. Automaton Tower was nerfed? It wasn't really nerfed, was it? Oh, really? So I really should just build Terran Guard Chidori. That sucks. 102, Bob, if you feel bad about 102, it is absolutely the worst thing on this planet that they ever could have revealed. It's just all RNG. So I don't know what to tell you. It really sucks, but it's just pray that your carries lands the poisons, play that you get all the nice RNG, and that's how you beat 102, which is really stupid. But yeah, I heard that 110 to 120 is really easy. It's just 100 is the last one that you have to. It's just a unit check. Thoughts on Atawin? Atawin's a really solid unit right now for control. But no PVE aspect to him. It's all control. It's really good if the opponent is picking really tanky and doesn't have a lot of dodge units. Because if you're able to S3 Soulburn, like the second rotation, you just nerf so much. But okay, the next PVE we're gonna do is gonna be Banshee. Unless you guys have another one. But we're gonna do Banshee. This one again is a really easy hunt. And it's partially my favorite hunt to farm during hunt events because it is the fastest. Even when you compare it to any other one-shot comp, Banshee is by far the fastest hunt. Banshee is the fastest hunt. I run a fast Banshee. I run a one-shot. And I have that extra slot in case I ever want to farm fodder. Or if I get a new unit, before I build them, I actually will farm them here while I farm Banshee. So this is a speed one, and it also has a lot of really easy. There's so many good earth units for Banshee, but Banshee out of all the hunts, I think has the fastest clear speed. And Krog could fall under aggro, Ryu. If you're asking about the previous video, yes, he can definitely fall under aggro. He actually is a very aggressive unit just because the S3 just automatically kills. But again, as far as Banshee, as far as the one-shot, the big thing is you need an attack buff that's for 3 turns and you need your one-shotter. If you don't have a 3-turn attack buffer, you can just use Strasse if you have Strasse. Strasse makes this hunt really easy too. But boom, that's it. That's a Banshee run. That took like less than a minute, right? Or about a minute. Which is why you typically want to farm these during hunt events if you have a one-shot. And Banshee to me is just the fastest one, right? It's just super easy to build, super easy to actually pilot. If you have a Vivian, it's significantly easier. And if you have a 4th unit, the requirements are actually really low for this one. And if you have a Leo, again, the gear requirements just go way lower, way lower. Leo just makes it a lot easier because you also get target debuff. Karen doesn't apply target debuff, and with Leo you also get some help for your Vivian because your Vivian doesn't have to soul the first wave, which a lot of people do struggle with. As far as like slow Banshee teams, I haven't done a slow Banshee team in a long time, but if I remember correctly, I think I just used to run like, I don't have my Momo built, so I probably won't be able to do it as well. I wonder if Amelia works for that, but usually I just used to run like this and call it a day. This used to be my old Banshee team back when I didn't have a one-shot team. I used to just run the Violet frontline. I still ran Vivian because she gave attack buff, she gave immunity, and I think I just ran another cleanser slash soul weaver here. I think it might have been Rowana. Yeah, I think it was Rowana. It was a really slow Banshee clear. It was really slow Banshee clear, but it did the job. I just hated running Banshee because this team was so slow. It was like a 5-minute runs, which is why I made the first team. Nowadays, you could honestly do this, and you probably would be fine. You could also easily do Vildred, but I will say slow Banshee is way harder to actually do than speed Banshee. But Face Shrine, just go straight to one-shot. To answer your question, Face Shrine, go straight to one-shot. If you have the units to do a one-shot, there is no reason you should be doing one-shot. It is easier to one-shot Banshee than it is to slow Banshee, right? It just absolutely is easier, because it's just, as long as you have the damage, you win the game, right? It's just way easier. So, oh, Cephalus, honestly, I don't like when they nerf some PvE content that's already easy, because it just makes it even easier. But again, for this one, as far as what I actually run for this team, Vivian is, if you have Vivian, it's like free. Just run one shot. If you have Baiken, you don't have to run Baiken. You can honestly run any other one, but Baiken is the easiest one. And Personally, if you want a more reliable Banshee one-shot team, I would actually make Leo over someone like Karen, because Leo can actually hold Song of Stars. Leo helps ease some of the requirements on your Vivian, and Leo is not as tight speed tune as a Karen would be. This speed tuning for Karen is actually ridiculous. Like, if I actually show you how tight it has to be, if I add any speed, like if I add any speed to any of these units, my Banshee's dead. Do you need Rage for one shot? No, not necessarily at admin. I don't run Rage personally, but you guys saw how much damage the Karen did, and I'm not even doing anything on the Biken. Let me actually show you the gear that I have on both those units. It's very tight speed tuning, which is why I don't recommend it. Rage set definitely makes the gear requirements easier though. If you're doing it with straw set, you do need rage gear. So for Banshee one shot with straw set, you do need rage gear for your straw set, or you're not gonna have the damage necessary to actually just clear the hunt in one shot. But as far as Biken, this is my actual Biken. I use this exact same thing for Wyvern. So let me get the Biken. I mean, not even fully awakened, right? She does have self imprint, which does help. Not 100% crit rate, but this is like overstated, right? It's an overstated Biken because, as you guys saw with the Karen team that I have set up, it kills it without even proccing the bleeds, right? So all these extra effectiveness is there for just like extra safety, right? In case for some reason my Karen doesn't do that much damage or something goes wrong or my Vivian doesn't crit or something like that. I mean, it's really good rage gear, right? But it's way overstated. You could honestly do it with 4k and less crit damage with a proper Karen with the bleed artifact, or with the Karen with the new artifact. So Karen with the new artifact is actually really good. This is my Karen. If you give her the bleed artifact, you can actually pair her up really well with the Biken. The problem you run into is if Karen has too much damage, Vivian will do too much damage with Karen. So you should actually lower your Vivian's damage. Destruction, my bad. Yeah, but the EE, the bleed EE, you can actually do with Karen for the S3 to actually land double bleeds. It procs really well with Biken one shot. The Strasset one, I'm not too privy of the information. I've actually never tried to see a Strasset one shot, but from what I hear, you need pretty good stats on the Strasset. Strasset is definitely more of a late game type thing. Do the requirements go down? Yes, they go down significantly if you're doing a 4-star. If you do 4, it doesn't really matter. 4 just helps you have more debuffs and more consistency. If you're doing a 4-man, Banshee team, the thing that's nice is you can have 2 decreased defense units, right? Because with that, you have the Vivian or whoever's clearing your first wave, but you can have Leo and any other decreased defenser like a Furious, who's just there to make sure you're actually getting the debuffs, right? So 4-man actually makes it a lot more consistent. Although Strassi can actually have the 100% clear run, right? Strassi is the only character in the game that if you pair with Chloe, you can actually have the 100% clear, right? So that's what makes Strassi so good, especially paired with Chloe. You can actually run 100%, no chance for you to fail Banshee 13 team if you have Strasset and Chloe, right? Which is why Chloe Strasset is so nice for a lot of things, including even Wyvern. I think they do really good in speed Wyvern. So that's as far as Banshee. Honestly, probably one of the easier hunts because there's just so many good Earth heroes and there's so many replacements. You can ask about RTA now, of course. I'm open to anything. It's a PVE stream, but we can still talk about PvP, right? Or we can talk about anything, honestly. So. But as far as other hunts, I'll keep talking until you ask a question. I always like to answer questions on the chat first if I can. So now that's as far as Banshee. So we clear Banshee. We talk about Kaithes. As far as Wyvern, oh yeah. Oh, with 2. Whoa, that's actually really impressive. I think his Bolona was actually kind of nuts though. I do remember that hunt, Stefan. It was kind of nuts. So as far as Wyvern, I can't show it because I don't want to have to switch gear. Unless you guys really want to see the Wyvern team. If not, you can take my pick. This is the team I use, in case you're curious about what I use. Right now, my Sigurd does not have gear. The reason I run this is because I really want to land the decreased defense, because that just makes it go a lot quicker. And I really like the Luluka for just also does a lot of damage. It's not a one-shot, so I don't run a one-shot, but I think the runs are less than 2 minutes. I think it's a 1 minute 30 runs. 1 minute 30, 1 minute 30. Yeah, it's about 130-minute run average with an 70-80% win rate. It's not the highest win rate on the planet because I don't have that many debuffs. It essentially comes down, does Furious get the target debuff? And Light Hunt or Light Expo, Ethan? Because it's a pretty big difference. So that's a big one. Is Valiant gonna cancel both or just one tangle? Now Valiant's passive cancels all soul gain, so it actually stops both. So fun fact, it actually does stop both. And I do agree, right now PvP in Epic 7 is not great, which is why we're doing a PvE stream, because I need mental break from RTA after last stream. It just kind of scarred me a little bit. I don't want to go back just quite yet. But this is my Wyvern team. It's a minute 50. One-shot teams are typically running 1 minute. But there are so many guides on Wyvern that I feel like this topic is like just beaten to death. And to this day, there are still people that don't really know how to clear Wyvern 13, right? And there are so many different combinations. You don't need Sigrid, although you probably have her. You can use Alexa. Furious, you don't need Furious. If you don't have Furious, you don't need to use them, right? If you don't have Song of Stars, you don't have to actually use them. You can use any other unit that is going to land a lot of debuffs. Luluka, same thing. You can use any DPS unit that can help you land decreased defenses. General Purgus, not needed, but lowers gear requirements, right? To an extent, because he needs to be very tanky, and he also does speed up runs significantly. If you're running a slow Wyvern team, Momo, Alexa, any decreased defense / debuffer, any decreased defense / debuffer to duo DPS, GG, easy game, easy life, right? Alexa Sigrid, Alexa Seaside, Furious, Alexa, Seaside, Luluka, right? That works too. It's legit just 3 DPS that do the subcategories of decreasing defense and applying debuffs, and a frontliner that can actually try to get you to the barrier phase. That's legit all you need for Wyvern. That's literally it. Wyvern is legit just a unit check. It's if you have the units and have okay gear, boom, easy. Easiest thing in your life, right? It's super easy. Right, it's not a hard hunt. I know it's still something that I see a lot of players say. I can't clear Wyvern. I've played Epic 7 for over a year. I'm like, if you can't clear Wyvern and you've been playing Epic 7 for a year, it's not because Wyvern is hard. It's because you haven't actually taken the time to build the units. Like, that's all I'm gonna say for Wyvern 13. That's just literally what it comes down to. You have to build the units. You have to be the units. And Tab, I did not actually see the fights. They shall do them today. I'm kind of curious if it actually went pretty well. But yeah, you can even use Luna. You can use so many combinations. You can use Karen, right? I think I was running, instead of Furious, I was running Karen at one point, and she's even better with the other ones. I have a Save Katie's team. But yeah, this is just, Wyvern is the easiest hunt. I don't want to beat it to death because there are so many different combinations that I can actually go through, which is crazy. And I can imagine, because I know Maven is a big cleave player, so that's a big one. As far as one-shots are a little bit harder for this hunt, which is why I don't do them. I just haven't gotten around to doing it. But for one-shot Wyvern, you do need Seaside or Strasse, right? If you don't have one or the other, you can't do the one-shot. Light Angelica is nice, but I don't think it's as necessary. You can use Flan or Karen, right? Whichever one's going to land decreased defense. Seaside is needed, and she has to be able to clear wave 1 by herself, which is really hard to do. And then the Sigrid is there for the one-shot. Again, that one's more of a stat check and a unit check than anything else. To do Wyvern 10 because my Alexa keeps dying. So Colonel for Wyvern 10, the thing that makes Wyvern 10 a little bit harder than Wyvern 11 and Wyvern 13, I will actually tell you, Colonel, Wyvern 10 is actually harder than Wyvern 11, Wyvern 12, and Wyvern 13. Because Wyvern 11, Wyvern 12, and Wyvern 13, you can force the boss to actually go on frontline, which makes it a lot easier. I don't know if 10 actually lets you do that. Which I don't think it actually does. I think that one is actually random who it hits, if I remember correctly. For those, she doesn't have to be particularly tanky, but you're gonna have to play with the support that can keep her alive. But I would say you can clear it one time, go to 11, and the stat requirements go down, because 11, 12, and 13, 11 and 12 will always target frontline, which is really nice. Like, I'm telling you that right now. Colonel, get past 10 and you won't have to worry about making your Alexa tanky, because 11 and 12 are forced onto the front, so you can make it really, really tanky on the front line. Yes, 11 is way easier. 11 and 12 always target frontline no matter what, which means that you can keep your units dummy squishy Like super squishy on 11 and 12. Like we're talking like glass cannon. And you'll be fine because 11 and 12 will always target the front line. And you can get decent gear, and you can go to Wyvern 13, which you just have to add debuffs, and that's it. And then you have Wyvern 13. Past 10, get past 10, go straight to 11 and 12. Don't stick to 10. That's a big mistake a lot of people make. Don't stick in 10. 10 will actually kill you slowly if you actually stay in there for too long. Mike, let me actually show you my Kaithes team. I talked about it earlier. I think this is the first thing we actually talked about in stream. So if you want to go back in the stream and actually watch, this is the actual team. It has like a 95% win rate. It's just so slow that I do not recommend farming this if it's a hunt event like right now. 13, well, Cephalos 13 will always target frontline if you apply debuffs. So 13, all of them will always target frontline if you apply debuffs. That's what makes 11 to 13 super easy. And yes, tap, same. So this is the Kaithes team. This is my Kaithes team. Super safe. Super easy. So not easy. It's a very unit specific team. You can change Tama for Amelia if you don't have Tama, but Tama works pretty well. If you have a high FRS, Tama is actually really good. I kind of showed the gear earlier on. Seaside can be changed for any decreased defense unit. The only thing is if you don't run a Seaside, your supports are going to have to be pretty tanky as well as your DPSs cannot be squishy, right? Because Kaithes is going to go into a lot of different units. But this is essentially a decreased defense unit that can tank. The Roana, big support, can probably be changed for a Momo, just because Momo can actually keep up with the healing and the cleansing that you actually need. And then for the last lot, you need a DPS unit that can actually self-cleanse. So something like a Violet will do really good. A lot of people actually run Violet instead of Surmia. Surmia just does higher single target damage, right? Which is why it's so good. So that's really nice. And then of course, Seaside, really nice because it does big AoE damage. So that one is the team I use. It has some variation, but that's just the one I've been able to do and have a lot of success with. Right, Lolica does really good as well. As far as Azimanak Hunt 13, there is one thing for this one that really helps, right? So for Azimanak Hunt 13, there's actually a lot of units you can use that are free to play, but again, this is another hunt that is just slow, and that's what I hate about it. Let me actually try to find the team because it's been some time. Azimanak Hunt is just a really slow team. It's just another slow hunt, unless you have a one-shot team, right? If you have a Strasse or a Watcher Shuri BBK one-shot team, then you're set, but you have to farm Azimanak Hunt first before you can build a one-shot team, because without rage set, you're not killing anything. So I actually showed on this one. I have a lot of teams, but I'm trying to find my... I really need to actually reorganize my teams, because right now it's really hard for me to actually find the teams I've been using for A13. I really need to just switch these, so let me just make Team 11 Azimanak Hunt, since I'm already here. But okay, as far as the Azimanak Hunt, the most important thing is stripping the boss. You need several ways to strip the boss. If you're not stripping the boss, you're going to be losing the fight. Who does a really good job for this? Buccaneer Clury. Free-to-play unit, super easy, right? Super nice. So F Clury, really good way to strip the boss. Really nice way to actually do it. I'll talk about it in a second, Jose, because that's a whole thing that it's probably going to be a video with current RTA, because there's a lot of problems right now in Epic 7 PvP. So this is one. Very nice, right? Very good, right? So we can already start with our front line, right? And she can bring any not artifact that will help you survive, or any healing, right? So Buccaneer Clury, kind of a GOAT. She's the only reason I can actually clear this hunt right now. Then the second most important thing that you need in this hunt is AoE damage. You need to be able to kill the additions. You need AoE damage. And there's a lot of options that actually work for this one. Landy is a very popular one that also gives speed buff. Another really popular one would be someone like Seaside, right? The thing with Seaside is you have to make sure you turn skills off, because the boss can only have 2 debuffs at a time. You do not want to stack more than 2 debuffs at a time on the boss. If you don't have Landy, you can also use Vildred, will work just as fine. So Vildred will work really well for this one. Vildred works really freaking well for this one, actually. Loki, one of the best ones. If you have a lot of buffers, Kayron works for this one. If you have a one-shot Banshee team, I use my one-shot Banshee Vivian, right? Vivian will work really well for this one because she cycles pretty fast. Even Arbiter Vildred is going to work really well for this one. Even Mercedes, right? New Mercedes, really goated for this one, right? Mercedes is amazing for this one. I forgot what BIS is. Tab, I actually am really bad with like with short portions. I'm actually not too sure. Is Bellion a 2-for-1? Yes, Bellion also works. Bellion, AoE, and strip, right? So again, Bellion can also take over fucking Eclairs. Oh, best in slot, yeah. Belgium just makes it super easy. So DPS, and again, more decreased defense to make your life easier, and more AoE just to make sure that you can help. Thank you y'all. Best in slot, I appreciate that. I actually never knew what that BIS was, so I really appreciate that. If you had Chief Kawana, which I built her for this Face Shrine, no, because I don't want to build a unit that is just gonna use for one hunt and not be used anywhere else. But then last but definitely not least, on the last slot, you need a support. The best one is going to be Tama for a lot of reasons. The big reason why Tama is so good is she can cleanse, she can heal, and she can make the fights go faster, and she gives attack buff, and she gives cycling, and she can strip, right? So she does everything you want in this hunt. So that's why usually I fill this slot for her. And this is usually what I run. And then you would run Mercedes. You could probably run her own artifact because they're S2 strips. Just make sure she has some effectiveness. Seaside is there for the decreased defense and the AoE help. Taki Clear is there for dual stripping. She's also there for sustaining as well, for the Night artifact, as well as for the decreased defense, right? So she does a lot. And then Tama is there for the sustain and for the strip, right? And this you can do several combinations of. Pocket Clear is just a free-to-play hero, which is why I choose her. You can pick any AD DPS, you can pick any support style DPS, and you can pick any sustain unit. It's just this makes it a lot more consistent. But again, this team is dummy slow because, again, it's not a one-shot, and the boss has dummy high HP. So it's a matter of the boss has really high HP, which is why it's annoying. But this is actually my team, right? So let me actually go back a little bit to some of the chats because I feel like I haven't gone back. Now, full, I do agree for Wyvern. I know I skipped already past Wyvern, but yes, you can actually lose Luna really, really well if you have the damage. Mike, I hope that answered your team for Kaithes. I hope you have it. You can see it earlier too for some of the stuff that I use for that. RB and Landy are both really good. You can honestly use RB Landy, but then you're going to have to make sure your supports are really good at getting strips because Landy doesn't strip and RB doesn't strip, which means that these two supports will have to strip really good if you're using Landy RB, but that does work pretty well. Chief Cohen I wouldn't use. Luluka with Lila Violin is also amazing for this one, so if you don't have Seaside, you can also just do this. Which I honestly might switch to this, because my Luluka is actually pretty decent for a PvE Luluka. I accidentally double-clicked, so it's going to go to the Cena page. It's going to go to my build page. Yeah. I hate how long it lags, because I don't know if it's the emulator, or if it's just because it's just hard for it to like do everything. So I'm not too sure for that one. All right, there we go. It's really laggy. I don't know why it's so laggy in certain things, but Luluka would honestly bet better in this slot, and can also double as a stripper because she can carry Lila Violin, right? So there's a lot of options. A13 is, again, it's not a hard one. It's just you need decent gear, which a lot of people don't have when they want to start farming it, and you also need the units, which again, a lot of people hate building PvE units, which I don't blame them for. I hate PvE units as well. So Spec Tenet does also work for the minis. I used to use Spec Tenet, but the only thing is it's a little bit slower if you don't have a really good AoE DPS. So, but yeah, reward drops for Hunt are so small the amount of energy techs. Yeah, it's like that, Skylar, but that's why it's nice that you can auto. But doesn't almost have typically high HP? Yes. So if you wanted to know the order, do y'all want to know the order of HPs? It's actually a really cool thing, right? As far as like hunts go, in terms of HP, and we're not gonna talk about Golem because Golem is trash. No one likes Golem. Banshee has the lowest health. I think Golem is actually second. Then it's Wyvern. Then it's Azimanak Hunt, and then it's Kaithes. Kaithes is the chunkiest. She's so freaking chunky, dude. They made this boss annoying for no reason. They made this boss annoying for no reason. Good alternative, Amir, for one shot for biking. The ones that people use are Ervalin. So Ervalin is a really big one. You can also use Bologna, but your Bologna is gonna have to be like cracked as hell if you're actually using Bologna. One that's actually really good. It's underrated. It's really dumb, but it works really well. Yufin works really well as well. And another one, if you have none of the units I mentioned, for no reason, this unit actually kind of slaps at this hunt. And that's actually gonna be a little guy. I think he's a beast. Where's he a humanoid? Is he a human type? Yeah, he's a human type. Mighty Scout. This guy actually slaps. This guy actually slaps. Because 70% penetration, that's why, right? So with decreased defense, this guy just does so much single target damage. He's earth, so he gets extra damage. He does really good single target damage. So unironically, if you don't have Bikin, I knew someone that did a Banshee one-shot in 3 months, and they didn't have Bikin, they didn't have Bellona, and they just used Mighty Scout. And it just worked, right? You do need Leo for this. You need the target debuff, or it's not going to work, right? So you need the target debuff. Without target debuff, good luck. But yes, he's actually a really good unit. Like, unironically, if you're just trying to one-shot, he's actually the most economic choice because he's a 2-star, which means that he doesn't need Molagora. Have y'all realized that? And all he needs is this skill. Oh yeah, Mighty Mouse, beautiful. Great addition to the game. I wish there was more units like Mighty Mouse for all different types of hunts. So yeah. Build on Bellona for Banshee. It's the typical rage set Bellona, and the Bellona one-shot's really weird. I still don't know how it works too well. Let me actually show you one of the two, man. So you need really good gear for this, by the way. If you're trying to... Oh, wait! Ram. That's the other one. If you have Ram, just use Ram. So that's another really good one for this. And she's free. And you should have her already 6-star. So all you need is Molagora on her. But she's also a really good unit for one-shotting the boss. I honestly would recommend her over Bellona. Let me see. I recommend this over Bellona. Bellona's... It's probably the hardest one of the ones I mentioned. Where is she? Where's Ram? Let me actually look for Earth Elementals. She does dummy single target damage. Honestly, one of the best PvE units in the game has to offer. So if you're a newer player and you have Ram, just build your Ram. She's gonna help you so much in PvE overall. She's so good. She does so much single target damage. Yeah. If you just started, she's nuts. Yes. Use her over Bellona. 100%. They use Luna as a decreased defense instead of Furious or as a DPS. Colonel Luna, you use her as a DPS. She's not reliable enough to decrease defense. Typically for decreased defense Wyvern, you typically see Karen, you see Furious, you see Luluka, you see Ternorgard, you know, more consistent decreased defense that can actually happen a lot of times. But yeah, Ram is probably one of the best ones for one-shotting. She does not okay amounts of damage. She does a lot of damage. She's really good. Just make her. She's really good. She's just amazing. Oh, and that's the Cephalos. I just know they're very tanky. So, didn't they used to be a Scorpion that's OP? Yeah, there used to be a Scorpion that was OP and they nerfed it. Finn, which sucks. But okay, Light Expo, Claremont. If looking at Light Expo, I think there's no prep. If you ask me what I think is gonna be Light Expo, Keys is gonna be dope. Any single target DPS unit, honestly. Falcon and Clear is gonna be dope. And then just a bunch of single target DPS units. That's it. That's all that's gonna be. Like, looking at it is really good. But Scorpion used to be kind of goated. But they nerfed Scorpion. Man, I should make a video of top 5 memories from Epic 7. But probably people probably wouldn't click on it, unfortunately. It's one of the reasons. That's probably more for something for stream. Quick sidetrack on the monsters. Just a quick aside. We'll go back to the I think we're missing Golem, but I don't think I'm gonna go over that. But where's the Scorpion? I think it might be a magic creature. It's not a magic creature. Interesting. Is it really not a magic creature? Oh, it's really not. It should not be a human type. I will be very shocked. Yeah, it's not a human type. It's not machinery. Is it really not beast? Oh, it's right here. He's right here. It is beast. This guy used to detonate poison. So Jade Scorpion used to apply venom, and the detonate would just do so much damage. It would just instantly like just pop all the bleed effects. I forgot what else it did. It still detonates them. But it was infected, and it wasn't. I forgot what it was because he still detonates. It was something really dumb about him. But he used to be really broken, like for PVE, and Hiloki was even seeing some PvP play. But it was because of the poison advantage of it. He took consideration of any debuff. Oh, okay. Okay, so it used to give him poison in S1, and it increased duration. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's actually so broken. It's kind of sad that they nerfed him. Poor Scorpion. But he does still have the detonate bleed, which is, I mean, it doesn't really matter too much, right? Just makes things faster, but you could still probably use him for PvE. But that's really cool. Thank you, Tap, for reminding me. It's been a long time. I never actually used him. But yeah, he was actually really broken. It was a really good memory. I also remember Old Tierra. Man, those were the days, dude. Bring Old Tierra back. They did her so dirty. If you guys didn't know, this unit used to be the queen for PvE. She used to be like one of the most broken units in the game, period. Like during release. Where is she? Where is she? Where is she? She's a 3-star fire unit. Oh, her? She used to be the best PvE units in the game, and I really, really forgot about her, and it makes me really, really sad. So the big thing that she used to do, CR push was always there. They nerfed her speed by a lot. I think it was a 10 or 15 speed nerfed, right? It was a 10 or 15 speed nerfed. This S3 decreased defense, right? So S3 used to decrease defense. So it was a very reliable decreased defense. And I think or it was the S1 that decreased defense, and the S3 did something else, right? But the nerf in speed hurt her a lot. I think they nerfed the CR pushing. Oh, it used to be she used to CR push herself as well, right? So they nerfed the way that it's everyone but the caster, making her cycle less. And then they took away decreased defense from either the S1 or the S3. I forgot which one it was. But it was really, really nice. And it used to trigger off with dual attacks. So she used to be really broken because you could just cycle over and over, and it was just really freaking good unit. But we can't have good PvE 3-star units. Come on now. Except Curious, which, man, that was crazy times. They do reruns. Colonel, they actually do reruns every year. Once a year, they'll do a rerun. Typically, I don't think they've missed a rerun yet. So the past 3 years, going off of everything, they will do a rerun around the same time that the original run happened. So next summer, if you're still playing the game, they will probably rerun with and they'll probably add a different unit with it. Kisuna probably is the only unit that hasn't gotten a rerun. Yeah, that's true. Which is really sad. So this is the only unit that's never gotten a rerun in the game. All of the units have gotten a rerun. Multiple. All limited units have gotten a rerun in the past. Except Kisuna and Lucy. But Lucy should be getting one. It hasn't been a year yet, so it's still not up. So there's that. Oh yeah, Corvus was broken. But okay, as far as hunts go, I'm gonna take a quick aside because a lot of you guys want to talk a little bit about PvP, and you guys know I love PvP, but also have a love-hate relationship with it. But that covers all the hunts. I'm not gonna touch on Golem because I really don't think anyone should be farming Golem. I'm just gonna put that out there. I don't think anyone should be farming Golem, so I'm not gonna cover it. I'm never gonna talk about it. I think it's trash hunt. I think saying it's a good hunt is cheating a lot of players. It is have some good things, but they give you the sets for free. You can just, for all the things, you can get the sets for free. Deanne got her rerun in December, so she probably will get another one sometime in December again. She had a triple bandit with Cerise and Landy. But Golem, it's just like, there are so few units in this game that need attack buff set. Like, it's just like, there's no point. Like, yes, is it usable? Yes. HP, defense, and attack set are actually usable now. But the value lost of you farming Golem over farming any other hunt is absolutely disgusting, right? So there's that. It's like, unless you're really hunting for a very specific unit, you're not gonna do it. So there's that. But if you're not hunting for a very specific unit, and the only units I can think off the top of my head are like Gunther, Senya. If you just want to have a solid support foundation for your supports for PvE, it's not bad either. So PvE supports Gunther, Senya, Dark Corvus, and maybe Cheese A Robbie. But yeah, it's not the greatest. Yeah, there's very few units, so it's not a completely useless run. But it's like, unless you absolutely love those 3 or 4 units, 3, 4, 5, maybe 5 units in this game, you really want to give them one of their sets, because it's not always optimal. It's just one of the really good ones. Then you can maybe farm Golem. But I remember, I'll just talk about it. You know what? I'll just talk about it. As much as I hate Golem, let's talk about it. Golem, honestly, it's just cleanse, strip, and attack. It's pretty standard. I think the team that I used to run was this team. And Sarmia is really good for this because she actually speeds things up a lot. I think I used to run this team. And it worked fine. You really do want unhealable though, which is why Sarmia can actually work pretty well, because the S1 does apply unhealable. Unhealable stops the boss from healing, strip if you need it, stun for the ads. That's the big one. Sarmia does apply unhealable. But also the big thing is the Ravi. You would want to use a speed Ravi over a counter Ravi, because with speed Ravi you can actually cycle the S3 pretty fast, and the S3 would actually make it so you can stun the additions and make it so you can go faster. So so Hollow Trials is not something that I actually do really good. I'm about to do it later on. That's one of the things I have to do later on. But as far as this, I mean, Ross is really good. If you really want to optimize Golem, right, a really good Golem unit would be Hazel. Unironically, she's actually I don't have a Hazel copy, but Hazel is a really, it's probably the best healer because she gives gab to fire units. So you will be Ross. It's like a no-brainer. You always want Ross. Hazel, because she gives great gab to fire units. Sermium, or another attack healer. You can also use Soul Bad Guy, and then you can use Ravi or someone that can apply heal block and just win off of that. Or you can just one shot, right, with Soul Bad Guy, right? You can also run Champ C. I used to run Champ C instead of Ravi at 1.2. But where is my soul? You can also run something like this, right? Dagger Sakar, I haven't been doing them because I haven't built my Isaria. But yeah, this would be the Golem team. It's just literally just get the damage in there. Apply unhealable, survive, and heal. That's it. That's all you really need. So that's pretty much all you need for Golem. It's a very easy hunt, and the only times you'll ever have to farm it is if you're farming for a very specific unit, which is very early. So that's the only thing for Golem. So I'm trying to think. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick aside from PVE to talk about a little bit of PvP. So if you're here for PvE, we will get back to it. We have talked about all the hunts officially. So we've talked about all the hunts, and let me write in the notepad so I don't forget the other things that we wanted to talk about. So normal Lavi I haven't gotten to. What was it called? Hollow Trials, Dagger Sikar. I haven't done all of them. I know how to do most of them. I just haven't gotten around to actually doing them because changing gear is such a hassle in this game. But okay, I will remember this. But someone was asking me a little bit earlier. Let's see some of the stuff that y'all were asking me for PvP. Someone asked about Belian. I kind of already answered that one. Prepping for Light Expo. We talked about it a little bit, Claremont. It's usually going to be a bunch of DPSs in Falcon Clary. So let me see where was it? I lost it. Auto Tower we can talk about in a second. Yeah, that also works really well. There's a lot of really good teams for Golem. Golem is one of the easiest hunts to do, because there's no really hard condition. Oh, how I felt. Thanks for reminding me, Jose. Distribution of energy. Okay, well, I'll talk about that one too. That's actually a really good video idea. Holy cow. Wait, this is actually going to be a video idea, so I'm actually going to table this one. I'm actually gonna save this one. Wow, that's a really good one, Healer. Let me actually save it on my notepad of list of things I wanted to do. This is a really good video idea. Wow, look at y'all making my thinking work for me. I really appreciate that. That's really nice. So okay, nice. Yeah, PvE sauce, that's good sauce. But okay, quick aside, we'll go back to PvE in a second. Quick aside for RTA. Why am I not streaming RTA as often? Why don't I like RTA as much right now as I normally do. And this happens every season. Every season there's always gonna there's gonna be something. Oh, when you start using SS, oh man, that's gonna be a big topic. Let me actually write that one. I'll talk about this one. I don't want to make a video for it because that is very controversial topic. Not controversial, but it depends on who you ask. So I will answer that question, Jono Giovanna. I will go back to that one. But quick aside for PvE RTA, I'm not gonna spend too much time on this because it's supposed to be a PvE stream. The big thing with RTA right now, my biggest problem with RTA right now is two things. One, there is too much RNG attached to this right now. Two, the season got absolutely ruined when they did the point refund. And three, the meta right now is very rock paper scissors feeling, right? So that's three. There's actually four. So let me think. The first one was the RNG. There's too much RNG right now. Way too much RNG. Which there's always RNG, but it's way too much RNG right now. Second one was point refund system. Third one was, man, what was it? I already forgot. It's a casino meta right now. Yeah. Oh, it's the rock paper scissors, right? It's very rock paper scissors. So okay. So the first point, why I don't like RTA right now as much. First one is because it feels way too RNG, right? There are so many. The fight that exemplifies it the most, if you tuned in into last stream, right, and you saw that one fight, me and the opponent both played counter set units, and we literally didn't take turns, and he beat me because he got one more dual attack than I did. I got no dual attacks, he got one dual attack. That was the only reason why he won. We had the exact same level of gear. Both drafts were good against each other. Both drafts has win conditions. The only reason he won and I didn't, he got a dual attack, I did not, right? So dual attacks always have been in the game. That's just a lot of RNG. People hate dual attacks. I hate dual attacks. I think dual attacks are cheap and shouldn't exist, right? Unless you're using a dual attack set, right? Because you're getting rewarded for luck sacking. And you shouldn't just be getting rewarded for luck sacking, right? You shouldn't be able to turn a fight from just luck alone, right? That dual attacks feel terrible. They should remove them unless a unit calls for a dual attack or if they have a dual attack set, because then they're actually sacrificing a side set, right? That's the first thing. The second, and then there's also the other side of RNG to that, is that Rem and Violet are literally slot machine units. You can lose a game to a Rem. If the Rem pops off, you lose. If the Rem's a sleeper, they lose. And you should never have a fight become, if Rem procs, I win. If Rem doesn't proc, I lose. It doesn't matter how good your draft is, right? Because if they just proc, you lose. Same thing with Violet. If you don't hit the Violet, you can't win, right? And there is the only unit that can reliably hit Violet right now is Briarwitch Iseria. That's it. No other unit can hit Violet reliably. So there is a chance that no matter how good you are, no matter how good your draft is, you can lose to Violet just popping off and dodging every single time, and you lose the fight. You should never be able to lose draft, pick Violet, win the game. That should just not exist. A unit like that is not healthy for the game, right? On the other hand, Violet feels a lot more fair because you can just strip it and it's really easy. I guess Wanda. Wanda can't actually hit him, but Wanda most of the time just gets blown up. So Wanda and Briar, they're the two only units that can hit him reliably. Not a lot. And Wanda can't kill the Violet, right? And yeah, so you should never have a unit that you can pick and automatically win if you get lucky. Craw does not take out Violet. If it's a good Violet, your Craw will not drop below 50% before it gets one shot. And most Violets are running 18k HP, 16 to 18k HP. Craw Horse, because you're missing, is only doing 10k HP. You miss, you get counterattacked, you die. If you're using Craw, and it's a good Violet player, they will save their S3 for when you miss. They'll have attack buff and crit damage buff, and it's going to be on pen set. It will kill a half HP Craw. Like, Craw, yes, it can help in Guild Wars. It can help in Arena. But in RTA, Craw does nothing against Violet. At all. A good Violet does not lose to a Craw. If anything, it's the other way around. Right? Violet is literally a slot machine unit. But he normally would be okay if there was answers to it. Right? Violet doesn't have many answers. Charlotte with Symbol usually hits, right? Luis, that's the thing. Usually hits. But Violet dodges Charlotte And if Violet hits your Charlotte when you don't have an attack buff, a Pensive Violet, if it hits with S3, attack buff crit damage, he will one-shot your Charlotte. Like, I'm not saying that there aren't ways to give you better odds against Violet, but Violet is a unit that exists that you can legitimately win the game if you high roll. There is a chance that no matter how hard you get out drafted, you lose to a Violet solo. And there should not be a unit that's that strong that doesn't really have a real answer besides don't get unlucky, right? And yes, for most situations, is that gonna happen very often? No. But I have won and I have lost to Violet in that situation way too many times, right? So it's like, it's a slot machine unit. So you have Rem, you have Violet, you have dual attack chances, you have 15%. If you're a control player or you're playing against control, right? A lot of the times your only win condition is 15%ing, but at the same time, that's also the only win condition of you're the control player, right? If you miss a critical provoke, if you have a Fallen Cecilia with 200 effectiveness and you miss a provoke on a Landy, and a Landy goes on to Soulburn and kill your team, GG. So there's just too much RNG and there's not enough ways to mitigate that RNG, right? That's my that's the big complaint right now with that's arguably the biggest complaint with me, and that's probably gonna be a video, is that right now RTA feels more like a slot machine type game than it does a skill based game, right? And you've seen a lot of top level players right now don't have really high win rates, right? They'll have win rates below 60%. And Rowan is not a great counter to Violet because Violet only does single target damage. He will out DPS the Rowan's healing, essentially. SE Wanda, I'm not too familiar with Wanda. I think Wanda needs a buff to actually deal with Violet. Just I think that needs to happen. So it's just right now, the meta feels way too slot machine for my liking, and it shows. If you look at almost all high Emperor Legend players, they're not gonna have the usual 60% plus win rate that they're used to have, right? So that's why arguably the biggest complaint about RTA this season is way too slot machine. There's no skill involved. There are so many games, like look at this. I lost this one because I disconnected, right? I didn't forfeit, I disconnected. I know it looks like I forfeited, but this is a viable strategy all the way up in high Emperor. All the way high in high Emperor, this is a viable strategy. You slap on two high RNG units and you can win the game. You can RNG your way through opponent's gear. That should never happen. That should not be in a meta. You should never have a meta where you don't have answers to it. Even Violet at his peak wasn't that bad because Pakine Clary and other ways to actually strip the evasion. And units that could actually reliably hit the evasion, and you're not getting counterattacked every single time. You could kill him through evasion. You cannot kill a Violet through evasion, right? And Violet, because he's going to sustain too much, right? So that's my biggest complaint. The second complaint that I had for RTA was the point refund. Why did point refund suck? Because it inflated the points again, which was the whole reason that this season was annoying. Because climbing right now, win or lose, you win like 10 points, but you also lose like 10, right? So here we gained 11 points, but we lost 10, right? So we're winning and losing 10, losing 10, winning 10, losing 10, winning 10, right? Which is normal, right? I'm not saying that that's bad. You should have this high level, winning and losing should be very close, right? That's fine. What screwed it up is right before this, they gave a refund where they didn't take this into consideration, which is why, if you look at Legend, you have things like this. He is way higher. Like the top players, the gap is astronomical, right? So they essentially gave, if you were Legend, before they gave the point refund, you could essentially not really play RTA and you probably would an Emperor already. You could have been high Emperor or just played a ton of games before the point refund and you would be fine, right? Like look how high they are compared to everyone else. Like the gap is humongous, and it's harder to make up the gap because every single fight you lose 10, you gain 10, you lose 9, you gain maybe 11, maybe 12. So it's terrible, right? So that's the point refund was actually a huge mistake. Outside of the point refund, I like the point system, right? It shouldn't be too inflated. It should be hard to climb. That's normal. That makes sense, but not when the gaps are so big between everything. So that one really sucked that they did that. So that one really sucked. And then last, my other complaint is it's very, very rock, paper, scissors meta. I pick lane team, they pick Mage Charlotte. I pick Crawl, they pick their support, they pick the DPS, I pick the counter. Same thing, right? I pick lane team, they pick Mage and support. Let's see. This one, I got disconnected. I picked R because I actually know him. So actually, it's actually a lot funner when you actually know the opponent. This one was like actually a really small player. But again, you see, oh, I have Landy, I'm gonna pick Charlotte. Why not? It counters, right? So like you're just counter DPSing, right? So this one, I picked Charlotte into the Landy. And I lost because I wanted to have fun with MLR Minthia and I didn't bend the Rem. This is a game that I just misplayed really, really hard. I was already tilted from the last game. So that's why I lost that one really bad. Again, Landy, Amelia, grab the maid because you can't have maid and Landy, right? And you see that almost every single game, dude. Like I feel like I'm playing the exact same game with slight variations every single time. So it's just very repetitive, very rock paper scissors. If you grab Landy, I'm probably grabbing Charlotte. If you grab Charlotte, I'm grabbing Rem. If I grab Rem, you're grabbing Violet, right? So it's literally like rock paper scissors. What DPS are you gonna pick? Okay, I'll match your DPS, right? I'll match you with my own DPS, right? Oh, you pick this, let me pick my DPS, right? And you're just rotating supports and DPSs for that. For the supports, it's just Maid, Amelia, Maid, Amelia, Maid, Amelia, Maid, Amelia, Maid, Amelia, and then Crimson Armin. You occasionally see the closer Charles, but like Maid is in every single game. If you don't ban Maid, you're gonna see Angel Light, right? So let's see, Maid, no Maid, which I was surprised about. Because I picked Maid. No Maid, because I know him and he doesn't own Maid. He doesn't have Maid either. Maid. No Maid, which I'm really happy about. But he banned Amelia again because Amelia kind of busted. Cleaver. Maid. It's actually almost always Maid. Like more than 70% of the matches are Maid. It's not great. So TLDR, RTA season, why I don't like it right now. But that sounded more like a ramble than a very cohesive statement. I'm about to go back to PVE for the people that are here for PVE. But the big thing right now that makes me really upset is right now there are too many high roll units in the meta. Way too casino. Really, really rock, paper, scissors type. And just the point system sucked when they did it again. So yeah, it sucks. And when I see an interesting draft, I'm always down to see interesting draft. I always like interesting drafts, right? If I lose to an interesting draft, I don't feel bad. I'm like, wow, that's really cool. Like I lost to this guy, but I was like, I did not expect to get pentatanked. And it was really cool to see an injury rebellion, right? It was an injury rebellion. And I was like, that's really cool to see, right? It's a cool team. It's a switch up. It's not made. It's not the typical made regurgitate team. So I was like, okay, I enjoyed that. So there's a lot of solo units for RTA. I mean, everything has a place. I just think you need more ways to mitigate RNG. Because right now we're at a level, like we've reached critical RNG levels. Right, there's a level, like if you draw a line down the line for RNG, we've crossed the line. Because we always had 15%. We always had dual attacks, right? Which are all spice. They're all nice, whatever. But now you're adding on top Violet and Rem as meta units. It's just too much RNG. Can the main ban system be different? If you ban the unit AO, then it cannot ban AO, so we don't waste our ban. Now, I actually think we need a 2-ban system. It's getting to a point where we need 2 prevents for higher level. Right? I don't think for lower level is necessary, but for higher level, I think 2 prevents is a no-brainer for next season. It's time, right? It's been time, but now it's definitely time, right? It's definitely time for RTA to go to the 2-ban system. They haven't implemented. Just implement it for Emperor Plus. Or for Champion Plus. Champion Plus should have a 2 prevent system. There are way too many threats in RTA, which makes units that normally have counters not have counters, which is not okay. I really do think we need a 2 prevent system. It's just, it's becoming that way, right? If you don't have 2 prevents, it's never gonna change. You like Violet, Rem, soloing the meta? I mean, Ethan, they are really fun to play. I will say casino gaming is really fun. I'm a big casino gamer occasionally. But, man. Enable that? I mean, yeah. A global ban would also work for like every week. Change it. But it's just right now, there's ways they can fix it. and I really hope that they fix it. Fix number 1 to the RNG problem in Epic 7 is give units that are less RNG based. And unironically, actually no, Bellion's not really not an RNG unit because counter is really, really big. We need more units like Briar Witch, right? We really do need more units like a Briar Witch Iseria that are guaranteed type units. We need units that say shut down dual attacks guaranteed, right? I know it sounds toxic, but we need things that can actually mitigate the RNG to an extent, right? Because we should not have this level of RNG without being able to manipulate it a little bit. We need ways to actually play around RNG if it's gonna happen. We need actual counters to Violet. Please buff Wanda. Strasse, yes, I actually think Strasse is a very well built unit. Unironically, 10 players will disagree with me, but Strasse is a unit that he's going to do what he's going to do. It is a very unit that you can actually play. You can actually play around. You know what he does, but he's gonna do what he does. There's no high rolling. It's just he does what he does. There's no RNG attached to it. I really like Strasse as a unit. I really, really like Strasse as a unit. As far as Arena, someone asked me real quick. David, Arena, you actually don't use Fallen Cecilia anymore. There's a lot of different ones. And again, you kind of see the same thing that happens in RTA and Arena. Right now, PvP in Epic 7 is absolute trash show. But Violet, if you have Violet, just slap a Violet, just slap AOL. Yeah, AOL, Violet, and then like whatever the hell you want. Honestly, will just be a really good defense. Maid Chloe is really, really good as well. But if you have Violet, you put it in. Rem you can also use, although Rem is not as good as Violet. But it works really well. Polides, it's for defense, you just need to have the staples. Oh, thank you, Ryan. I appreciate that. I wish I was XQC. XQC is a really cool guy, but I'm not that big just quite yet. But yeah. Yeah, it's as far as Arena defense, I can't see it because it's reset day, but it's a lot of AOL, Maid, Polides, Violet. If you have Polides, you slap it on the defense, your win rate instantly goes up. If you have Maid Chloe, your win rate instantly shoots up. If you have a Angel Light Angelica, you will already be champion. If you have Angel Light Angelica, you should be champion just because your defense is never gonna die, right? Angel Light Angelica is just broken for Arena defense, right? Bellion's really good. Polides is really good. And those are like the big staples, and Violet. Those are like the big staples right now. So, but no, see, like the thing about it, Cephalos with Strasse, the fact that Senya is a good counter to Strasse is because there's no RNG to it. Again, it's just Strasse is one of the best built units that Epic 7 could have ever created in this game. Not only is it an amazing PvE unit, no RNG attached, but you literally just have a unit that you know exactly what it's going to do. He has a very clear weakness and a very clear strength, which makes it easy to fight and win. But yes, if you have AOL, you literally are just winning at Epic 7 PvP. AOL is not a balanced unit. AOL, it was a mistake as well. She's more on the RNG side of like 15%. So let me see some of the stuff that we're talking about. But man, y'all got me worked up over PvP. We were supposed to be talking about PvE, you know, having fun, relaxing about things that you can actually control. Y'all got me all pent up on PvP. So it's annoying. Also, face shrine for the world ban. The reason why there's a world ban was because of Dizzy. So that's the big reason. It was there for some time. Yes, I think all boss units are unironically balanced to an extent, except maybe Amaro's a little bit on the stronger side. If she could be unhealthy, but right now she's really good. But popping on audio, is it still popping? Maybe it's my mic. Let me know if it's still popping. I can try to reset my mic. So, oh, let me see the draft you sent me. Okay, the thing about it is you actually count. This guy sucks at AOL. Oh, it's K-Kite. Oh, sorry, K-Kite. Sorry, K-Kite, but this draft kind of sucks for AOL. Or against it. Yeah, this is an L. I'm just watching that. I like your draft, Healer, but that does not show that AOL sucks. That just shows that he misdrafted. You can't do full control with AOL. Yeah, this year was straight up banned for a long time. Is it still popping? Let me disconnect it real quick. Alright, the audio should be better. I'm pretty sure it's because I was using the wrong plug. One of the plugs is not as good as the one I use for the mouse. So, but there it is. Okay. But yeah, Dizzy was banned for a very long time. Because Europe didn't have Dizzy and they didn't want Global to have an unfair advantage, so it's just Global banned for some. But Ameru could low-key be toxic if played properly. But okay. That's a quick little rant for PvP. Oh yeah. Okay, so it is because of the plug. Okay, I need to remember to not mix up the input plugs. Because my laptop is very crusty. I need a new laptop. Okay, I'm glad. I need a new laptop. That's literally what this comes down to. One of the USB connections is very old and crusty, which I've used it for the mouse because the mouse doesn't really care, right? I just do some sensitivity. But for the audio, it actually matters a lot. Okay, I'm glad it sounds better now. Got him. But okay, that's my little rant for PvP. Y'all always know how to get me. Y'all always know how to get me triggered on PvP gaming. God, dude, I hate RTA right now. And Arena, it's just, right now, Arena, I'm just praying I don't have to climb again. Thank God that champion is, like, because AOL and Bellion actually look so toxic. Like, I think right now the meta defense is Mei Chloe, Violet, Bellion, and AOL. You are not cleaving that. So, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. RTA right now is pretty crazy. It's very high rolling, very RNG. So, but okay. Done with PvP talk. Done with the side discussion. I am getting a lot of PvE ones, so let me actually answer some of them. Starting with the one with blue accents. What are getting on destruction pieces? Honestly, destruction right now is probably the worst set because no real unit can use it. The only time you really see destruction set used is on units like ML Ken because they can do a lot of damage with this set. You'll occasionally see, if you can still get good speed, some DPS units can use it, but Cleave has evolved to a point where you need speed. You need speed set, right? It used to be that you could use destruction set for like CDOM and a lot of different units and for PvE, but it's gotten to a point that for PvE you use rage set and for PvP you're using speed set. So there's that. That's the best rage set units. I would just say MLK is the only one that realistically still uses it. And for one shot you can still use it, but for one shot you should be using rage set. That's the thing, right? So it's like kind of a placeholder while you get your rage set from different things. You're typically using the destruction set for that, right? So I use destruction set for like my Viking, right, and for my Karen, right, which are both for my damage team. So, and they can one shot, right? They're overstated, but that's the only units I can actually realistically see this on. It's like PvE units. It's good for PvE units. Let's put it that way. Although rage set is for the most part better in normal situation where this will work. The other question is someone's mid game. They mentioned they were early mid game player. I have Wyvern and Hellraid down. What content should you focus on next? So Toasty Jam, if you finish Raid and you finish Wyvern, the next hunt you need to start doing is actually going to be A13 because you're already at a point where you should start doing PvP more seriously. You need to do a A13 team because you need immunity for a lot of content. Unless you're a cleaver, then you don't really need it, although some cleavers still use it. So right now, if you already finished all the big PvP, you're going to be focused, PvE-wise, you focus on Abyss, you focus on Azimanak Hunt, because you need immunity pieces, and you need Banshee, because right now, Banshee is arguably the best, for boosters, is one of the best hunts, right, for boosters. So Wyvern, you get your gear for your PvE units, you start farming Banshee for PvP, and Azimanak Hunt for PvP, and then you're set already to be a good PvP player. Or you farm a lot of Wyvern with Azimanak Hunt and a little bit of Banshee for unit specific if you're playing more aggro/cleave playstyles. If you're playing aggro/cleave playstyles, I would say Azimanak Hunt Wyvern for a very long time and start working through Abyss because Abyss gives you really good rewards and you're pretty much done with PvE. Congratulations. Oh, music is louder than me? Thank you for letting me know. Let me lower it. It's really different from my side for the music. Thank you for letting me know, Skylar. But yeah, that's the one for that one. That's what I would do, Toasty. Hopefully you were able to hear my answer. I know there was a lot of like really loud music, so I really hope you were able to hear the answer. But yes, Abyss is what you would focus on next. On the other side. So Basic Banshee team without Vivian. Are you trying to one-shot it, Christopher, or are you trying to not one-shot it? Now you hear no music? Okay, let me bump it up again. For Banshee without Vivian, if you're not doing a one-shot, you probably don't have this unit though. Let me think, because you probably don't have Lucy, do you? Yeah, I really like the Echo theme. Christopher, if you have Landy, Landy's really, really good. You want to use her. This is going to be a really slow run, but it will work. RBF Flurry, Aros, Tama. Toasty, I would change Aros for another DPS unit that can decrease defense. Toasty. So for one-shots, so we talked about Banshee already. I'm going to move on a little bit. Let me just do a quick recap. We talked about Banshee earlier, and we talked in pretty in-depth for both slow and for fast. For slow, which honestly, if you have the one-shot units, just go straight for a one-shot. I think it's just better if you do have that. As far as slow Banshee, if you don't have Vivian, and you probably don't have Lucy, you want really good AoE damage, and you want ways to cleanse debuffs. The best cleanser in the game is undeniably going to be a Momo. So a Momo is going to help you a lot. Really, really solid unit. Landy, everyone should have right now because she's running right now. If you don't have her, make sure you're starting to pull. Frontline, you can use something like a any Earth DPS. I used to use Violet because Violet could actually dual attack. So this is cool, right? I use Violet. If you have Violet, it's actually a really good frontliner, right? And then the last slot is like a pseudo support. I think I used to use Rowana. Or just any other cleanser or support. I can use Amelia, any cleanser, honestly. Or any unit that's going to help your team. This is a very slow but very safe team. You can do this. You can definitely do this. You will hate yourself. You will be here forever. But you will clear Banshee, right? For slow Banshee. If you're trying to do... You can use Ray as well, right? So, yes. That's slow Banshee, fast Banshee. Leo makes it really easy. If you don't have Vivian, you can't use Biking. Unless you have another 3-turn attack unit. You can use any 3-turn attack unit, but Leo just makes it really easy. If you're trying to do a one-shot, let me get the units that you normally use for a one-shot. If you're doing it for a one-shot, the only problem is your gear requirements either go up, or you need to have a very, very, very wonky one-shot type team. But the most classic team is a combination of these units. Or if you have Strasse, you use Strasse. Or you use... whatchamacallit? What's the other unit? You can use Charles Bildred. That's another good one. But if you're using Charles Bildred, you can't use Viking. Fortunately. But this is another one. Any attack buffer, any cleave... like, this is a one that used to be the really popular one. Was actually this one. Where's RB? And then let me throw in one last one that I know will most likely work. This team will also work. If you have an attack buffer, you can also use them, but it ups your... you can use Yuna. I wouldn't recommend it, but you can use Yuna. The big thing though is if you're doing that, you're gonna need you probably need Leo, and you're gonna have to speed tune it properly, where you have your attack buffer, attack buff. Or you have attack buff, Leo does S3, and you have your your wave clearer. Then you have... they can do whatever they want. Then you have your attacker do some damage, and you have Leo set up, but you're gonna have to do a lot of damage. You're gonna need a lot of damage for Rem. So that's why typically I would just suggest going with Bikin, honestly. Or Mighty Mouse, which is a 2-star unit. One-shots are more about having the units. Bikin's probably the best one for that. You can also use Karen instead of Leo if you have the Bikin. But you can also do a double attack buff type team. But for Bikin to have the attack buff fully, you would have to give her in the second. Charles is a wave clearer as well. You could even probably do something like this, honestly. But you would have to change this out for someone. So there's a lot of things that are like... One-shot Wyvern is very tight on a lot of the stuff that it does. It's very unit specific. It's very team specific. It requires you to have your Leo with max on stars. It requires you to have really good gear on your one-shotter, which is why, for the most part, if you don't have Bikin, it's really hard to do unless you have very well-made one. So, Ram works pretty well. Ram does a lot of single target damage, so that's the other team I showed is also a decent one. But you have to have target debuff and decreased defense for that team to actually do the job. So, no, you're a Banshee gamer, no speed. Can you still build AOL? Absolutely. I would just build a counter set, high effectiveness tank AOL, like 220 speed. It's kind of cheese, but it would still work, right? It's not the best. She really does want speed set, but it's not the end of the world if you have her on Banshee set. It's just she needs a lot of speed. You can make her really tanky though, and she'd be more of a bruiser type unit. That's a build I really wanted to try out, but the game did not bless me with AOL, Santiago. So, unfortunately, I can't try it for you, but that's really nice. Oh yeah, you can also use Vildred or Arby, but it depends if you have a 3-turn attack buffer. So, the only other 3-turn attack buffer that I know of are DN and what's the other one? DN and Kisuna Eye, which are both limited, which a lot of you guys probably don't have. But if y'all did, you can use them over them, and you can just have your regular Banshee one shot. Pretty easy with Viking. But yeah, it's pretty unit specific for Banshee, but the slow Banshee, it's slow, but it's really, really... Okay. That's it for hunts. We talked about hunts, all of them, really, really in depth. So hopefully it gives you a good idea. There's a lot of different units you can use for that. There's a lot of different ways that you can actually do Banshee. The big thing for Banshee is just cleanse. If you're doing the slow Banshee, is cleanse and AoE. That's it. Cleanse and AoE. If you have good cleansing, good AoE damage, you're fine. You're gonna clear it pretty quick. It's gonna be slow, but it will be clearable. I suffered through slow Banshee for a very, very long time. As far as PvE content, Skylar, I do agree that we need more PvE content. I miss Advent Side Story. What happened to Advent Side Story? One of the things that so we're gonna do expeditions next. That's what we're gonna talk about next. But I can't find it. But as far as new PvE content, I really miss Advent Side Story. I am very disappointed that the community had such an unbased argument against Advent Side Story. Because I think it was really good content, because it was received so negatively by so many players, I don't think Smallgate wanted to do more Advent Side Story. And that's really unfortunate, because that was actually some of the best PvE content we've gotten in a while. It was very, very well-made PvE content, too. Very, very unfortunate that they're not going to do it again, because people were so upset at it. So, that sucks. Okay? They're not going to do it for a long time, at least. I hate that. I hate that, because that was really, really fun. Advent was so good. Advent was so great. It was actually well-made. It was the right level of difficulty. It wasn't baby easy mode, but it still had a baby easy mode to actually farm it. It's not confirmed gone, but Smilegate, whenever something doesn't have good, like, reception by the community, it will immediately get, like, put low on the priority list. And if you're wondering why I mean like that, think about this. World Boss? Like, y'all remember World Boss? They haven't updated this in, like, forever. This content sucks. Like, I'm sorry to say, World Boss sucks. By all intents and purposes. They changed the reward slightly. But they didn't even touch it again, right? They said they were, never did, never cared for it. Because people, it was so negative. The people hated it, which, for good reason. So, just got kicked low on the priority list. Right now, same thing with Hall Trials. Like, they don't really care about it. It's just, like, there, right? Could be so much better, but it's just there. Ottoman Tower, arguably the best PvE content we have, and they actually regularly update this, which you can see when people are happy about it, they will actually, like, give you more, right? So whenever people actually receive stuff well, and they're like, oh, I really like this, they will actually try and give it more resources. But yes, I will show expedition teams now. I've actually done 2 expedition guides, which is very unlike me. So if you guys don't know my PvE philosophy, right? If y'all want to know my PvE philosophy, is you only use what you need. Anything outside of that, this game is a soft game. This game is a game that if you have the units, there's no reason you should be struggling in PvE as long as you have the gear for them, right? Once you have the units, once you have the gear, you're done, right? It's very just like get it done, and you'll be on your way to clearing the PvE. It's not something where it's like oh, this is really hard content, I'm not sure what I want to use, right? It's a very soft game. So I know it's, and that's why I can't have fun with PvE, because it just feels soft, right? It's hard for me to have fun in a PvE game mode that's already soft. That's just like, I can copy paste this team and just win, right? And there's no incentive to try harder. There's no PvE incentive for me to try harder in any of these content, right? It's just all very like low effort, clear type things. So kind of sucks, but it is there. As far as my teams, I can show them. So I hate attacking them with their full. But okay, as far as this one, I use this team. Diane, Craw, Luluka, and Luna. The biggest thing for this one, and it's such an easy content, all you need, a knight on the front line. You can use Rose, who's actually really good for this. You can use Tywin, who again is really good for this. You can use any knight. Any water knight will fit in the slot, with Rose and Tywin probably even better than Craw even. This, you can use Tama. I just like the end, right? I really like the end, so I use the end. You can use Tama. You can use any water attack buffer, honestly. If you have Rose, Rose works fine, right? For this, you can use any unit that can decrease defense, right? Any unit that can decrease defense without destroying. Karen is actually really good for this now because of the S1. And for this one, you just need someone that sells CR pushes, right? This could be Lorena. So I know you mentioned with Luna. This could be Lorena. This could be Lena, which is a 3-star. This could be Karen, because Karen gets CR push now. This could be Chu, right? This could be Chu. It doesn't have to be Luna. Any unit that can sell CR push on their S1 is a perfect slot for this. It's a very easy, again, it's a pretty much solved one, which it does have optimal teams, but for you to not be like dead weight for your allies, all you really need is a water unit, a buffer, a decreased defense support, and someone that gets increased combat readiness from the S1. That's it. Strasse can work, yes. Unironically, Strasse can work for this hunt, although you do want to use water. I suggest you use water because water does more damage. Kaithes does not work the best unless you have like Karen. Karen could actually work with Kaithes pretty well, unironically, because Kaithes just fills the role, right? Emilia works as well. Clury works as defense breaker. If you're using Clury, your Clury has to be on some crazy freaking gear, because she's gonna be eating damage because she's an earth hero. If you have a very good Falconeer, very tanky Falconeer Clury that's just not gonna get creamed, then yes, you could probably use Falconeer Clury, and her S1 also CR pushes. But again, it's very easy. Oh yeah, Terranorgar too. There's so many things you can use. Luna, I use her in my PvP build, so I don't have her for PvE anymore, because I actually do use my Luna for PvE. For PvP, I don't use, but I still use my PvP Luna, and I still get 400k on standard. Because Luna kind of just does her job, right? But ideally you want 200. Aros can work, but not ideal. Shuri is really good as well. There's so many units for this. Let me think. This is my Luna, and she still gets 400k, but it's a PvP build. It's really slow. If you're trying to actually use her exclusively for expeditions, 200 speed is what you want. Right, but there are so many ways to do Fire Expedition. Fire Expedition is the easiest. Fire Expedition is the one expedition that most people tend to do, although no one really likes to do Expedition. Furious, too many debuffs. That's the only reason. Furious has too many debuffs. You can't use Furious, unfortunately. You have to make sure it's under a certain threshold of debuffs. I think it's 2 debuffs. So you can use SSB. PvE SSB also does work. But I don't know why you would use a PvE SSB, like a speed SSB is kind of suspect, but you can actually use her there as well. But Terranorgar also is really, really good. I mean, there's a lot of really good units for that expedition. As far as Dark Expedition, mine is kind of whale team I use, but it does really good and it's really slow. And if you finish Depot, no. If you finish Depot, there's really no point to the expedition. You're fine. Honestly, you're fine. As far as this one, I kind of use a whale team, because I have so many limited heroes, but I can use a wide variety one. Falconeer Clury is there for the sustain and the decreased defense. Cerise is there for the speed down. Tama is there for the cleansing. And she's there for the attack, right? So, as far as this team, it just basically is Lanny doing all the damage and giving myself speed buff. And just literally just lapping, right? The only time I actually will do Expo past the depot is if I really need to. If that is true. You do want it for the reinforcement, Energy per Reforged mats is the best. Oh, all of these are auto. I will never not auto these. But let me actually show... I'll show you guys the Dark Expedition. I also did do for this one. You think Aros is better than Falconeer Clury there? The thing about Falconeer Clury is I just think it's more reliable. That's the only thing for me. That's why I like Falconeer Clury over Ross. It's just it's reliable. Granted, you guys have to remember that my Landy isn't a PvP build because, again, as I mentioned, I only do the bare minimum. But if it's just a PvP build, that team does pretty good damage. I actually switch her to Bloodstone. I know my C set is holding. What? Green Equip just ended? Oh, I feel cheated. Whatever. It ended just because it turned... I'm annoyed. It used to be free Equip. I wonder what will happen to it. So let me get the Bloodstone. Landy. It's a PvP build, but... Yes, Dagger Sakar I will manual. I will manual Dagger Sakar. For a regular one, it's pretty easy. Willy, Wyvern, we talked about it earlier. Wyvern is a very just get the gear, get the units, get it done kind of thing. It's one of those things that you legit just have to swallow that pill, that you just have to build the units. Sigrid, really, really good. Karen is really, really good for now if you don't have a Furious with... if you don't have Furious with Song of Stars, Karen is really, really good for that role. Terranor Guard's really good for that role. Luluka's really good. SSB's really good. Misty Chan's really good. There's a lot of guides on Wyvern. There's a lot of different teams you can use. Labyrinth Coins, I have not. But I'm not quite sure what that question is. But we're going through expeditions right now. No. Cedrix, I think if you don't have the Alpha Artifact, you can, but it's not as good. You can, but it's not as good. But Alexa works really, really good, right? Alexa's great. SSB's great, right? There are so many good units. Wyvern is literally just look for a team that you can build and just do it, right? It sucks because some of the units look so ugly, but take it from me, someone who was hard stuck in Wyvern 11 for a very long time. Just swallow the pill and just build it. Why are my expos so bad? Tab, I hate doing expos. I hate PVE. We've gone over this, Tab. I hate PVE. I hate PVE. We're not gonna talk about that. I hate PVE. I know I'm losing a lot, but I hate PVE, dude. I think expos are so annoying because you just have to sit there and watch it for like 5 minutes. And it's so annoying. And no one really does it after day one either. That's the other part that sucks. After day one, most of them actually go to waste. PvE does, yeah, I hate PvE. I'm just doing a PvE stream because I know some people like PvE and need to clear. But I would say without the Cerise artifact, it's a lot harder to use Cerise. There are better units. Advent so much better. But as far as this team works really well. I use this team to beat Dagger Sakar for like the first one. It can't beat the second one. You can use a lot of different units. You don't have to use this particular team. And all you really need is, again, it's very... Most of Epic 7 comes down to have a decreased have a support that can heal, have a decreased defense, have a dedicated DPS. Right? It's very, very like standard. Crafted equipment, as in like equipment that I've crafted or equipment that I've reforged. I have way too many pieces that are reforged. I could show gear for like ages. I have a lot of gear. I've been playing for way too long. Isatama. Oh yeah, Isaria Tama. I forgot Isaria's just broken. I might do that actually. For Dark. Yeah. Oh, the crafted it? Sent AOL counter draft. But the thing about it is, having to build a whole draft just to counter one unit is kind of weird, champ, bro. That's kind of weird, champ. As far as the one that I crafted this piece. This beauty. In case you're wondering. This is a piece I crafted. I crafted a penetration set because I really wanted a good penetration piece. Because I think penetration's broken. There's a lot of units I want to play with penetration set. So, yeah, penetration set. Really, really good. Honestly, should have done a guide on what to do for this. But yeah, for the expedition, again, it comes down to have a knight that can decrease defense or a support knight. I would say that Ross works really well here. Right? You could easily use Ross for this one. And you'll do just fine. You get immunity, you get increased defense. Get the decreased defense. You can also do Lilius, right? It's really satisfying to see that. It's a lot. Is it worth to start Nuki Nuke? It would have been really nice if you started during like last month, because last month you got so much free stuff. Like we're talking like dummy free stuff. Like, if you started a month ago, you would already be further than some people that started like 4 months ago. It's worth starting. I mean, try it out. I would say try it out for a little bit. They're gonna rerun events like that. We're gonna get another anniversary. We're gonna get more 5-star heroes. We're gonna get a lot more stuff in the future. You're gonna get the units eventually. But if you have to like the game in the first place. So just try out the game. I would say just play for free. And if you don't like it, then just go through it. Farmation coins. Most efficient way, honestly, is just doing it. Which again is another content I hate. But okay, I will get to lobby and stuff like that in a second. But yeah, it sucks that it ended. It's fine to still do, right? It's still fine. You can still start. I would say try it out. It's still really fun. It's just gonna be a little bit slower to start. But if the selector, then it's fine. Yeah, if you have the selector, then you're fine. It's a really free-to-play friendly game. It's a game that is really does help you ease you right in. Wyvern 12, honestly, NTC, if you can do Wyvern 12, you're either just missing a debuffer for 13 or you're missing a little bit of gear. That's what it comes down to. If you can clear 12 but not 13. But okay, we talked about Dark Expo. But this works. Luluka works. Top Mono Luluka works. Luna works. You don't really have to care about the boss's mechanic if you can sustain. That's the thing with this one. You don't have to care at all about the boss's mechanic if you have really good sustain units, right? Which is why I use Bloodstone. You use any DPS. As long as the other ones don't have it. You need a couple that don't have it, right? But yeah, there's that. Yes, NTC, yes. If 6-starring your team would most likely help you probably clear it. Usually, your DPS and your tank should be 6-starred every single time for Wyvern. Or for all your hunts, right? But that's that. Blue Expedition. What do I use for this one? I forget. This one is semi-auto. I can't fully auto this one, but I do semi-auto it. What I mean by semi-auto is the first rotation I actually have to auto it. That's basically it. This team, the first rotation, I have to make sure that Oxlots does S2 on the Landy. That's literally it. Again, this is another quick unit check. Again, frontline, a knight. Packing Clear is amazing. If you don't have Packing Clear, you should build her because I don't know if you've seen a pattern, but on almost every single PvE content we've talked about, guess who's been there? Yeah, Packing Clear. So there's no reason you don't build this unit. It's one of the best PvE units in the game. She's free. Landy, you don't need Landy. Any Earth DPS works. Biken works. Sid is goated. Ram, the free unit that they gave out for collab, is amazing. Right? You don't need it. You don't need her. You don't need Landy. You can use any Earth DPS. Honestly, Ram is probably better. Right? Also works really well. Lots is just there. Lots works as well if you don't have Oxlots, because Lots can push up your unit. All you need for this unit is make sure you get pushed up. But funny enough, if you have Ram, the reason why I say Ram is so good for this expedition is because Ram actually cheats at this expedition. Because Ram actually makes it so you don't need an Oxlots. You can just go Tama and full aggro. Why? Ram has this little thing that lets her cheat Water Expo. They literally make this unit to like cheese Water Expo. If you have this unit, Water Expo is actually a joke. This unit actually cheats because you can make her so she doesn't reduce combat readiness, which means at the start of the battle you're not getting pushed back, which means you can very easily with Idol's Cheer or Tama get her back to be at the front very easily, and she does the highest single target damage for an Earth hero. So if you have Ram, which you should hopefully have Ram. I really hope you guys have Ram. She cheats at that Water Expedition. You should build Ram. She's another unit that's just ridiculously good. But usually you do need something like Idol's Cheer or Tama to actually get you the turn cycling. Idol's Cheer is usually what you do. You put Rowana, and Rowana tanks like a monster, and she'll survive, and you'll be able to sustain her, and then you'll get to push up because your Idol's Cheer should be enough to actually push Ram up, right? That's how it works. But Sid works really well. Rusid works really well. There's a lot of really great units for that one. But again, semi-auto works just as well. Mine is semi-auto, which works a lot. You can 6-star. You already should have Ram 6-star. I really hope that you didn't do the mistake I did. You can evolve units when you're skilling them, by the way. Oh yeah, Haga also works really well. There's a lot of really good units for that one. So yeah, that's Expos. Expos are really easy. Expos are very easy, which is why we are getting Expo level form soon, right? So that's something that we know we are getting. But just as a heads up, They're really easy right now, but we are very likely to get Expo level 4 within this year. That's something that they said was going to happen. And it's most likely going to happen. So we're going to see Expo level 4. But okay, that's it for Expo level 4. So I had a couple questions. Someone was asking me about the coins. Most efficient way to farm ancient coins. You mean the Labby coins? Just do raid. But I'll show you guys how to do raid. That's the next one we're going to do. Wow, we've done a lot of PvE content. I'm actually really... I really need one. But I don't want to get up. If I get up, like, usually like 10 people do it. So should you just solo Expo level 1 after day 1 for the rewards? Bon Saru, yes. Yes. Bon, if it's something that you can't do Expo level 3, there is no shame in doing Expo level 1 to finish these. Yes. If no one really participates in this, I actually, near the last week, me and a lot of other people will start putting level 1s. Because if you put a level 1, people will actually do your expeditions. Unironically. Because the thing about it is when you put level 1s, a lot of people just want to get the Expo rewards. And it's really quick to clear. So a lot of people will actually clear in level 1s. And you can actually solo them yourself. So if it's something that, like, right now, no one's really doing expeditions anymore. All these expeditions are going to waste, right? Like the last week, put them level 1. A lot of people are going to do level 1s for you. That's really, really nice. So just do it. People will do it. But yes, the other way is if you hit your own. If you hit your own, the thing about it is no one wants to start the expedition, right? So if every time I really want someone to hit, I would actually hit my own expedition. And if you hit your own expedition, there's a higher chance people will hit it as well. No one likes to be first. But if you hit it yourself, it's like a hidden rule that if an expedition is hit, people are more likely to hit it. I don't know why. But like if I see all these, they're full, I'm less likely to hit it. If I see this, I really want to hit this, but then I see the time limit, I'm like, it's a little too short, right? But if they had done it, they would be really low, and I'd really want to do it, and then someone's gonna want to finish it, right? So expeditions, kind of lame. But yes, if you hit your own level 3s, it actually is really good etiquette. If you're someone that hits their own expedition, you are goated. You would be the best friend ever to have. If you're someone that hits your own expedition, you're actually a star member of the Epic 7 community. And yes, the other thing is you can actually hit your expo yourself. You can get really close to soloing your own expo. But it's really hard during hunt events, right? And that's usually where most people actually will do it. So it kind of sucks because hunt events made it so it was overfilled. Like there was way too many posters, which is why I hate hunt events. Yes, you heard it here first. I hate hunt events. Hunt events make it so I can't farm my expeditions the first week because they're oversaturated. So they don't get hit because everyone's trying to farm for their own, right? So that sucks. That really does suck. It really does suck right now that we've had hunt events for the past month because no one does expeditions when there's a hunt event because everyone has their own posters. No one wants to hit posters. So expos just don't get done, right? So I am someone that actually hates hunt events on weekends. Can we just do hunt events during like the middle of the month? Is that what I'm saying? Like I feel like we should do hunt events in the middle of the month. I feel like Smage should never do a hunt event the first 2 weeks of a month. Because then people can actually do expeditions. And then we can just ignore expeditions for the rest, for the lazy PvE players like myself. I know it's not going to happen. I know this is just pipe dreams. But yes, if you want to be an ethical person and people actually hit your expos, if you hit your own expos, you have a very good chance of people actually hitting them back, right? If I go here and I don't hit it, there's a really good chance this expo is going to go to waste. But if I hit my own expo, there is a 80% chance someone else will hit. And yeah, I know it was Fram, but it just sucks that last month it was also like this. So I ended up not doing expos for a very long time. But Rage Set versus C Damage Set. Rage Set is just strictly better in almost every situation. C Damage Set is only good in very niche PvP units. But okay. Oh, I absolutely need a water break. So I will step back for just a second. I know a lot of you guys are probably going to leave because that's usually how streaming works. But I really need water because I've actually been drinking a lot of water. So I'm going to be back in a jiffy. I'm just getting water. I'll be right back. And we'll talk about other PvP content. We'll talk about Labby next because that's the other one. Yeah, my water is actually like, I'm actually so thirsty. But we'll talk about Labby next. That's what we're gonna do next. And then we'll do Hall Trials. And then we'll do whatever. Alright, we're back. And we got a snack too. We got mooncakes from Taiwan. So that's pretty dope. Okay. I'm snacked up. Go to the next PvE content. Oh man. Today is a very tiring stream. But okay, next PvE content. Yeah, I knew where my water was, so I didn't have to get it too much. But okay. Not mooncake, I got a pineapple cake. Okay. Next PvE content is gonna be the labyrinth. Okay. I'm gonna show you guys something that everyone should have and everyone should do for labyrinth. So something you guys farm me is how to farm more of these coins, more ancient coins. That's a question I was getting a lot. Hey, GG, bro. Thanks for letting you know. It does get posted on YouTube, Willie. All streams get posted as videos right after I quit the stream. So you can always go back and watch. I should really go back and like put tabs on stuff, but I usually get too busy during the week and I forget, and then I just end up not doing it. 4 hours runs. Wait, Tab, what's your I'm not teaching, I don't know like you, Fiend, but okay, I'm gonna show you guys and this is gonna blow your minds. So the best way to actually farm ancient coins is actually going to be from doing normal difficulty labyrinth. I really need to do my hell raid one, but please let me go in because but what you really want to do for this is you want to get the highest team that you can get for your camping simulator that's gonna be able to clear things. So this website is going to make your life so much easier. What I ended up doing one day is I just sat here and I clicked on every single unit that I own, right? So let's just click through a bunch of them. I just went through and I started clicking and I was like, I own that unit, I can make that unit, I think that'd be good for the expo. So if I can clear, it would be dope if I could fit her in. You click on all the units you want, right? And that you have, right? Because sometimes you see teams that you think, oh, that actually would work. All right. Pilot's actually really good for expedition because of how good his camping things are. But yes, go to camping simulator and let's see. Let me see if I'm missing someone. Sometimes I'll type it too if I want to know a specific unit. Okay. I put this. Okay, and what this will show you, it's what combination of units is gonna have the highest. I like this one a lot. I just learned from Game Prince, but you will have the single highest team with the highest morale, and you're gonna do these conversations, and you're gonna be able to explore a lot more of raid, right? And you're able to do a lot more. You only need to have over 36 to actually clear all of it in 3 entries. So, to actually clear this, you only need to have a conversation of over 36, right? I believe it's 36, which is not that bad. But what you can also do, and what I also really like about that website I showed, and how I came up with that team, that's the team I actually use, is I really wanted to use Landy, because Landy speeds up the process a lot. So I actually said I want it with Landy. And I looked through and I found that team. And I think the other one was a Ravi. Oh, I didn't have Tom Luca. That's why it's not showing. So I just kind of looked and I saw that one, that team, and I think it's what was the last unit I picked for it? It was this Landy, Tom Luca, and I just went through and I found one that had pretty high, and it just worked for me really, really well. I hate how long Labyrinth takes. I don't know if it was Lilius or not. Now that I think about it, I think it was another unit. I thought it was Lilius. It might have been a 39 one. Let me think. It was top model, Lilius, A Ravi, Landy. Can lock her in. All right, here. It's a 38. All you need is 36 plus. So as long as you can get 36 plus, you're fine. Anything higher, I mean, there's a threshold where unless you have higher than I think 43, it doesn't matter because it'll be the same, right? So you want something either higher than 36 or higher than 43. Everything in between does not matter. It does not matter. Anything in between, right? So you want to do that way where you just have it so it's this 36 or higher or 43 or higher. Anything in between is just up to you if you think a team fits better. So whatever team you think can clear normal labbing, that's what you're going to do. You're going to take that team. And if you have 36 or higher, you can actually clear all the bosses in 3 entries. Yes. Oh, 33? Really? I'm surprised it's just 33. I thought it was 36. This is what someone told me. To clear all 3 in 3 entries. But that's pretty standard. Clearing all bosses in 3 entries is what you want to do. And the more is the better, right? There's a very tight threshold for actually doing it. But again, raid is really, really easy. Normal raid is useless outside of getting artifact charms. I'm not going to do it because I hate this content. I never do it, though I should. But you should do it as an early game player because it gives decent gear for early game and it also does help late game. 33 might make more sense. It might be 33. I play Pokemon Go? No, Teddy, unfortunately. I played it a little bit. My brother got really into it actually. He really tried to get me into Pokemon Go and I was into it for a little bit, but it just wasn't my game. I use it occasionally when I really want to be motivated to run. I'll actually re-download it. But yes, usually from the shop, what you want to buy is this. 9 out of 10 times, this is what you want. This. And you may be wondering, why this? Because this is something that like, having artifacts maxed out is such a big difference for so much content. And this is the only place you can actually get them reliably. So because this is the only place you can get them reliably, you want to get these guys every single time that you can. It's just something you can't pass up. If you just want to gamble though, and I do this a lot, and you don't care about min-maxing, it's the chest. If you don't care about min-maxing, this is the best one. Because if this one, you have the opportunity to get a Mola Seed, a Transit Stone, a Galaxy Bookmark, Sky Stones, but you have just the same amount to do the gold. If you're someone that likes to gamble and that likes to have fun and really wants to get more MO heroes, you get this, right? And it feels so bad when you get hit with the 200k gold because it's just useless, right? You can just farm for this. Which is why this, for someone to advance in the game, this is what you're getting from this shop. This is just if you're feeling extra spicy that week for some reason, pick that one. And then everything else is kind of junk. The catalyst is not worth it because you can actually farm these. I got it one time because I really wanted to max out a unit, but you can just farm them and it's not worth actually using this that's like more limited, quote unquote, when you can get something that's nowhere else can be found as this. So, aside from Lux, I can get from Hoochie, which occasionally Hoochie does hit you up with this, but it's very unreliable. So this is a very reliable way to actually get artifact charms. As far as Hull Raid, I'm not gonna go super in depth into hard raid. I have to make sure I say hard because I'm monetized for me saying the H word. But as far as hard raid, I made a whole stream doing this. I still have to make the video from that stream that I said I was going to do. But if you want to have the easiest auto farming team in the planet, this is the team I used, and it clears all the content in this. It's just super easy. Occasionally we'll switch the DPS to make it go faster, but this team will actually be all of them on auto. Although I do occasionally switch the DPS though. But we kind of talked about it, and I'll talk about I'll probably do an ultimate guide again for this content because this content is just we did a stream before, and like it took like 3 hours, and I could be here for a very long time. But for all intents and purposes, this team core works for almost everything. And you can just slightly modify it depending on the hunt, and do better. Sorry it's taking so long to actually load the... It's taking a really long time. I don't know why. Because I have so many tabs open. Oh, man. But I use this. I actually don't use... I use Landy for the... But I use this one for almost all. And this one works for all of them, too. This is it. This is what I use. And it works for all of them. Really, really easily. And it works on auto, too. It just takes a very, very long time. I use Xenon because I sometimes like to see how he does, and also because I manual it or I auto it, so I don't really need my my thing. But as far as this particular team, it is autos all of them, and you could honestly, with this team core, by modifying it slightly, you can clear all of them. It's so easy. If you have this team core and you just add any DPS depending on the situation, you're set for life. You can easily change the Roana for Momo if you want to manual it. But if you're trying to auto, Roana is kind of important for that. But if you're doing it on manual, you could this plus any DPS and any situational unit will clear you almost all of it. Legit, just build Aros, build Tama, and you're set for life, right? It's that easy. And yes, the last thing that I'm going to talk about Labi is what you mentioned, Kairu. It's loading because I hate Labi. I'm actually going to do it right now because I haven't done it today. But the last one for Labi, every day before you do it, you want to come in here. And I do it for every single time I do a gear guide. I will always show this. Because as a new player, I didn't know this. I honestly don't. I'm just going to go. I don't have any units, but Ross can just clear the way on it. I hope. But what you want to do is you go up here. Go here. And you're going to go to this area right here. And that location will give you probably the most charms you will get anywhere else in the game. And I talked about this a lot in my stream. And in a lot of different videos. I bring this up every single time there's anything related to artifact or geared or anything. Right? You'll come here. Your boy Hutchi's going to be here. Click on him. And he usually has some charms for you. Sometimes he has Covenant bookmarks. It's really, really nice. They should add it to the lobby. They should make this easier for the players. But it's still something that's like low-key hidden, and a lot of people do miss out on this. Sometimes he gives greater charms, sometimes he gives epic charms, sometimes he gives artifact charms, sometimes he gives bookmarks. He really does pull through a lot of this. And it's just a really nice way to get really consistent. So yeah, that's as far as Sushi. That is going to be it for Labi. Pretty nice place. You get a lot of stuff. You should do it. I know I don't do it, but I hate PVE. 2-star artifacts, yeah, those are the ones that suck. But sometimes he pulls through. But a lot of the times he does not pull through. That is through Kwon. But yeah, so that's it for that one. So I think that covers all main PVE content aside from Hall and Ottoman Tower, which I can't really show, and it's honestly just and Spirit Altar, no one should be struggling with. Spirit Altar is free. It's just literally slap any hero that you want. And Abyss, it's very specific to actually go through each of them. But I will just say Kaithes, Tama, Isaria will make, and Stana just makes this a joke for the most part. Until you get outgapped or you get to floor 100. Everything after floor 100 and 100 to 110 is probably the worst. But okay, I do have to do my Holo Trials. So you guys get to do this with me. But let's see. If y'all are wondering why every single week you see this debuff to Warriors or Fire, in case you were ever curious, it's for one reason and one reason only. It's because of Sermia. Sermia used to destroy this content, so they always nerf her. Always. One of these will always usually target Sermia. I even think next week's targets Sermia too. Yeah, see this one? I think they haven't updated it. Wait, give me a second. They don't update it yet. She still does. Yeah, that's the funny part. She still does. Even with all these restrictions, people still use Sermia. But they try so hard to nerf her. You will almost always see one of these targeting just Sermia. Every single time you see a Holo Trials, which is really annoying. Because But that's why, because they don't want it to be too free, although no one really cares. This is a burn one in mage. I can't think right now for what I want to do for this. I know for Nigel, you want a lot of cleansing. I'm really bad at Nigel, by the way, so I'm gonna really let you guys down. I'm really bad at Nigel. I'm just gonna be straightforward with you guys. I suck at Nigel. It's just what it is. I really suck at Nigel. So we're gonna do Lilius. MLR is a little weird. Carrot doesn't do nothing. Does she? SSB is burn mage? SBA, you mean? SBA is a burn mage. Oh, my SBA is not set up for that. Unfortunately. Carrot does work for it. Let me think. I'll do Mercedes because she gives attack. Lilius can cleanse. I'm gonna try the cheese trap first, which is just do a ton of damage early on. So I know you're supposed to put a lot of cleansers. You're supposed to put one reliable cleanser for this, aside just from Lilius. But I don't want to have to think, and I usually try to do just a bunch of damage on the first wave. And I should switch my Stennis artifact. Let me at least do that. Actually, no, because I don't want to switch it back. I do have the artifact. If you want to clear the Dagger Shakar missions, you need to get the artifact, right? So, yes, you have to do this content before you can actually get the Dagger Shakar missions. Without the artifact, these missions are really hard. But with Dagger Shakar artifact, it's really easy to get the over 800k and stuff like that. Because your damage just gets shot up through the roof. So, unfortunately, I don't want to change that. So I'm just going to get a decent rank. Or try to get a decent rank. I usually just try to get within 10% if possible. If not, honestly, I hate Nagel enough that I don't want to have to read. Because his mechanics are really annoying. But Lilius is really good at just racking up damage. I'll just keep S1ing because I don't want to trigger yet. And I'm not going to burn her S3 until the rotation. I want to make sure I get the burn later on. So I really want... Oh man, she's going to outspeed. I hate that. Because I'm not going to be able to get the burns on time. Unfortunately. That sucks. I'm not going to get the big damage this turn. I might redo this one because I didn't get the big damage. This is just a cycle myself. Stream? Oh, hot stream. Yeah, HOT stream. But okay, let's get the attack buff. We're not gonna get the big damage with Standard just quite yet, so I'm just gonna do an S1 first time. Just so I can get the S3 when she rotates back. Right. We'll end the burns. And you can see if I had the health. Oh my god, are you kidding? I'm gonna restart this one. Unfortunately, we didn't land anything that we needed. And I really need to... I hate actually clearing the boss. That's actually the most important stages right there. So that one I have to redo real quick. But yeah, I mean, it's just do the conditions. HOT, there's nothing special to it. Very simple. Ram and Carrot work fine. Yeah, I know. She missed all burns. That move, I think, has 2 burn chances, too. Yeah, Baseload Drama, I don't know why game hates me. We missed so much stuff this time. But it's fine. It's okay. It's okay. Chillin'. Okay. This is for 2 turns, and I think I can actually... Let's try it this way. Because it only reduces debuff duration by 1 turn. Okay, so we'll keep 1 burn. Nice. This is a much better rotation. Oh man. Alright, nice. This is so much better. Okay. This went a lot better than the last one. So this one will be a lot freer. We'll get pretty high up before we even get to the next thing. And this is without the artifact, by the way. There's that. And without my MOR being a damage. Which she honestly should have been a damage. So it's on a damage. 80s. Right. Okay. Get A plus. Here you go. We're at S. And we haven't even gotten to the second. If I had the artifact, this would already be 3 million. No, Sermia. I didn't feel like using her. I didn't feel like using her. So I just didn't. Right. Debuffs, and we'll S3 with this. Cycle it out. I usually just manual it once. Yeah, people do that a lot, healer. Because you can get so much damage on the first rotation without having to worry, right? That's the big thing. And like if we can get to the next rotation, this team is gonna do it. Oh no damn. If we can actually survive it. It'll give us some nice little extra damage. We're actually gonna do really good. I actually should have put the artifact on. We actually might have been able to clear the HOH mission if we actually put the artifact on. Game. I'll S3 now because I want to stun it once. When was the last epic? It's been a while since the last epic passed, actually. Stennis should be able to take us to the next back buff, hopefully. No, that sucks. That really sucks. I just burned my own Lilius. Unfortunate. That's unfortunate. We lose a lot of damage because of that. That is very unfortunate that we lost Lilius there. Because we lose the dual attack chance there. But it's fine. This should be more than enough to get us to top 10%. Please land the burn. Nice. Good job, MLR. Yeah, if I got the artifact, this already would have been one of the missions for for the Dagger Sakar. Well, I really should have switched the artifact to my Dagger Sakar one. And now I'm kind of mad at myself, at least for the Stena. We could have had way more damage. Yeah, one more S3. This one should do a lot of damage. Because it goes up, depending on the debuff. This one would have probably put me at 5k. Oh yeah, I could have cleared the Dagger Sakar mission. God damn it! I should have actually put my stand on the artifact. I'm actually going to lose because of that. That makes me really sad. Or I'm not going to get the Dagger Sakar mission. Unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Although, I want to try to... How much is it, actually? I'm not actually too sure how much damage I'm supposed to... The less dying is definitely the tech. I do get more turns with my units, though. That is true. with my DPS mages. And this should wipe my party, except Mercy. If it's 4,800, I'm actually gonna be very mad at myself. And I actually do think it's 4,800. I do not want to yield this. This is actually a really good run. Like, all in all, it was a pretty solid run. There's one that's way more, there's one that's not that much more. There's two for this one. Usually, there's two for most of them. This will wipe my party for sure. Let me see what it is. Because there's two. I know the first one is not that high. The first one's actually pretty low. But this will give us easily top 1%. Or top 10%. There we go. Nice and easy. Big rewards. I could do a lot better. Oh, it's 6 million? Yeah, I still could have done it though. That's what makes me upset. With the artifact, you just do so much more damage. Yeah. Rank reward, yeah. Within 2%. 6 mil? Hey, later, Ryuji. Thanks for dropping by. I'll try. I haven't tried going for these. I really should go for this. It's 6 mil and 10 million. So Nigel is 6 million. Okay. So with that artifact, our Stena was missing 30% damage that she normally would have been doing extra to the boss, which is like enough to actually clear this one. But it is what it is. That's what I get for being lazy. But alright, that's all I got for you guys today. Hopefully you enjoyed this PvE stream. I know it's a really different. I don't know if you guys liked it or not. Let me know. Did y'all like this type PvE stream? It's very different from what I normally do. I'm a lot more PvP focused. Maybe next time we'll do Abyss only. I don't know if I hate myself for that. But I do need to clear Abyss eventually. That's something I definitely need to consider. Yeah, I need to do my dailies. Hold up. Give me a second. Oh, man. I cannot... Wait. Let me make sure I got all of my... Alright, time to fodder some units. It's a lot less stressful not to, I will say that. Yeah, it does switch it up a little bit. It does help a little bit that we've switched it up, you know. Have a little bit more fun. You came for a 5-hour PvP stream. Try going F2P? I mean, at this point, if I went F2P, I don't think it matters too much, healer. The only thing would be, I wouldn't get the units I want to play with. That's it. That's literally all that would be. A crafting stream? I could, actually. I'll save my hunt stuff, and I'll do a crafting regearing stream. Not a bad idea. I am trying to mix it up because I don't want to go back into RTA unless I absolutely have to go back. And when it's closer to end of season. Yeah, I don't really care about any of these. I want my Mola. I need my Mola fix. We did Arena, and I never want to do Arena again. Ever. Free-to-play is pretty stressful, though. At this point, though, when you already have your account at a certain level, being free-to-play and not being free-to-play does not make that big of a difference. Right? I'm honestly only I'm free-to-play for the most part. I'm only not free-to-play for the summons. I don't actually get these, because I already have too many. I will wait for a unit, though, if I really like them, though. Yeah, let's get that. Let's get this. Get our Mola. Is Milcraft gear? Alright, no, we'll try that next time. We'll do that one. Thursday, we should hopefully had a good update stream, which I always like update streams. We have not had an update stream the past like 3 weeks. Yes, that is true. Free to play does restrict your number of pulling and your imprint gain. Mola does not make a difference. Healer, I don't have Mola problems, but that's because I don't build units unless I absolutely have to. But I wanted the freaking where is it? Where's my Molas? Am I blind? It's Transit Stones, that's why. I'm boosted. And we're saving for Belly and Imprints because I do want to SSS her. But yes, hopefully we should have a big one this Thursday. A good update stream. Hopefully on Thursday we'll have a good update stream. Oh, we're at 69 viewers. Nice. It's stamina, yeah. For me, it's pulse. Stamina. Okay, here's the thing though. I don't actually spend on stamina, and I don't really run that many hunts. I have too much. I have too much leaves. But the past 4 weeks, we haven't had an update stream because they haven't had anything to update us on. We haven't had any new content for almost a month now. So we should be getting the next hero this week. Hopefully an SC, and hopefully an update on Guild Wars Inheritance. Hopefully. If not, most likely on Sunday we will do a crafting stream. Because I do have a lot of things to craft and actually work around. And I do have a lot of units I want to work in. So I will make sure to give a lot of stuff. But yeah, we haven't had a permanent RGB in a long time. Yeah, so we most likely will see the new RGB hero. Hopefully add more 4-star heroes. That would be really cool. As far as like channel updates, this week for sure, I actually reread the storyline for Strasse. The story time Epic 7. A lot of people have been asking me when the next story time is. The next one's gonna be on Strasse. It's gonna be a Who is Strasse. So that one will be coming out. I keep saying that it was supposed to come out this week, but this week was actually asked for me in IRL, so I didn't have a chance to actually make it. But I did actually end up rereading the storyline for Strasse. So yes, I reread the story for Strasse, so we'll do a story time video on that this week sometime. Let me think. One other thing, I don't know how many of you guys would be interested. This is something that's more for later, but you guys know I play a variety of games. Young Vildred? Oh, Young Vildred would be really cool. But you guys know I play a variety of different games. You guys know I don't actually just play Epic 7. If I only played Epic 7, I would actually be very unhappy person. I play a lot of different games. I play Smash, Guilty Gear, Summoner's War started getting back into, MHA, Strongest Hero on mobile, which I know it's a money cash grab game, but for some reason it got me hooked. So I'm actually thinking of actually starting another channel, because I realized if I try to do more than Epic 7 on this channel, it's not going to go well. So I'm trying to consider if I actually want to make a new channel and stream other games there, because I don't want to do Twitch. I already accepted that Twitch, I don't like it. They have too much issues that I don't want to deal with, and they have too much censorship. So I think I'm just going to make a new channel on YouTube and just have fun with streams and have fun with different videos. So I'm probably going to... But the question is, that's going to be a Discord poll more than anything. Because if I make another channel, I don't expect it to do good right away or anything. And I'm going to just have fun with it. Because again, at the end of the day, I'm just doing all this for fun. But if I ever wanted to stream other games, like Guilty Gear, like if I wanted to stream other games, period, I would keep it all YouTube. But I am thinking of opening a different channel to do other content. So we'll see how that goes. I'll keep you guys posted. Yeah, maybe we'll do some All-Star Brawl. Yeah, I'll probably get the game and we'll play. I really like fighter games. They're pretty fun. I'm pretty good at Smash, if I do say so myself. If you ever want to get smashed and smashed, let me know in the Discord. But just putting it out there, because you guys have several times have heard me as far as channel updates that I've wanted to do other things outside of Epic 7 for this. But you guys know I really like other gacha games. I don't just play Epic 7. But I realized that for YouTube, if I do anything right now on this channel that's not Epic 7, I am going to get so heavily penalized that it's not worth it. So I'm probably going to just make a new channel to make other content. And if I want to stream something else, it'll just be a variety channel. That'll be fun. Yes, I'll try Genshin Impact. Alright, hear me out for the intro. Alright, hear me out. For the intro for the new channel. Because, dude, I still get comments that actually make me kind of sad. That I say, what's up, summoners? And they're very hurtful comments. Where there are people that are like, this is a summoner's war. What are you doing, lol, dumb? And like stuff like that. That's like toned down, but it's like very aggressive comments about my intro. But at the end of the day, we're still summoning for waifus in Epic 7. So I'm actually going to change it. I can't do what's up, summoners for the other channel. So how does this sound? Hear me out, hear me out. By the way, if you're here for the PVE stream, we're officially over. This is just fun and talking. But for the PVE one, what if I was like, what's up, gamers? How does that sound? I feel like someone already does that, though. I think Danny already does that. I really like Summoner's War, though. I will probably make a video about Summoner's War because I'm really getting into it. And I really think there's a lot for Epic 7 to learn from it. I'm keeping this one, what's up, Summoners? Yes, the intro came from Summoner's War. Yes, I really like Summoner's War. And I originally came out with Summoner's War. And I'm going back to it recently. I really like it. But I don't mind for this one. But I'm probably going to go what's up, gamers. I'm probably going to do that. What's up, Bronzies? What's up, gamblers? What's up, noobs? What, dude? That'd be way too aggressive. What if I actually started all my games with "What's up, noobs"? King Blair here. No, that's too toxic. That's too toxic. Not for the channel. For the Epic 7 channel, it's gonna stay "What's up, Summoners" forever. I'm never gonna change the intro to this channel. It's iconic. It's iconic. What's up, waifu hunters? Yeah, maybe. But yeah, just sets up. I don't know how many of you guys would be interesting. I imagine all the people that are still here in the stream would probably be interested in a secondary channel. Or a secondary gaming, or watching me. I imagine y'all are here because you like my personality, not necessarily just because of Epic 7. Or I like to think that. I know that's probably not the case for a lot of you, or for everyone, but I would like to think that. And I know a lot of people in the Discord have different varying degrees. What's up, Pest? But aren't we called heirs? Yeah, we're heirs in Epic 7, but it just feels fitting to be summoners in Epic 7. I still feel like a summoner. But I'm probably gonna do the secondary purely for fun. Because deep talk, recently I haven't been able to play games and enjoy games on my own. Not because I don't enjoy the game, but because I feel like I'm wasting my time if I'm not doing something when I'm playing the game. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all ever get that realization that, like, at the end of the day, if the company goes out of business, all the money, all the time that you spend on the game is gone, right? It's just the memories, right? And I just, like, that realization just freaked me out so much, which is actually why I originally started the YouTube channel, because I was like, I feel like I'm not doing anything, right? I'm not getting anything out of doing this. So that's why I'm thinking of doing it for the other games that I play, because I don't feel like I'm getting anything out of those games either. Which is why I'm probably gonna have that channel for fun, where I can still have fun, but I don't have that sense of, like, unfulfillment that I normally would have. And go Genshin. Napotes, not gonna lie, I'm not gonna say I didn't think about that for a little bit. Like, this is not a thought that I can't say didn't come to my mind, but I love Epic 7 a lot. I really like this game, which is why I can still stream it to this day and still have ideas for videos and stuff. But yeah, that's just a heads up. I'll probably make the channel. I'll have to ask the Discord if they will like a new Discord, so that Discord doesn't get spammed. Although I probably will spam it the first weeks when the channel actually goes live, just because I need a nice base to start it off, right? But yeah, we'll see. I don't expect those to do good. It's gonna be purely for fun, so. And I'm not gonna have a schedule on that one. It's just like, if I feel like posting on it, I'll post on it. Maybe I'll do Pokemon Unite content on there. I'll do Pokemon Unite content on there. I'll just post clips of me playing. Maybe I'll do like the cop-out version where I just use it for streaming, and then I grab the streams and make it into videos. That could be like my testing ground channel. If you're gonna play Genshin, yes, it's way too late for Genshin. This channel will never be for Genshin, and I will never play Genshin like to the level that people need to, because they are way too far. What kind of? Let me actually hooking up your lot, dude. That'd be so fun. Not gonna lie, I did try Unite in here, but it's just like this channel is way too attached to Epic 7. But let me actually put a notepad so you guys know all the games that I actually play. So I'll do non-gacha or I'll do mobile and no mobile. So for mobile, I played a lot. Guardian Tales I played a lot, although I don't play it anymore. Legends of Runeterra I haven't played in a while, but I was pretty good at the game. I did get Masters for a season or two. So that one I still have. That one's pretty big. MHA, Strongest Hero. Kind of cash out, but I really like the game. Summoner's War, I unironically started playing it again. What else? What else I play for mobile? I play a lot of. I usually can only keep up with 2 though. Every time I go up above 2 mobile games, it's too much for me to keep up with. Let me see. Those are the big ones that I play. Yeah, okay, those are the big ones. Maybe Genshin, not really. But I do kind of play it. I do have a pretty good account for it. What else? And then mobile reviews. And then for console games, Pokemon Unite. I don't play a Shore Lane, unfortunately. Those are the ones that I actually play. Pokemon Unite, I play a lot. Smash Bros, I love Smash Bros. I can Smash Bros all day. Guilty Gear. Let's see, what other games? I don't play too many console games. I could play Monster Hunter, although I'm kind of noob, so I don't think anyone would watch me. What other console games though? I think that's it actually. Not Rocket League. I don't play first person shooters. I'm too bad at them. I'm not like technically gifted with like shooting. But I'm pretty good at fighters. for some reason. It's probably because I played so much Smash with my roommate. I think that's it, actually. As far as console games, I don't play many. I do like to enjoy... I did play Breath of the Wild. But... yeah. No, I agree. I'm not playing FPS games. I could try it, but I've never been good at it. Cookie Run was fun. It was interesting. I didn't like it too much. Oh, yeah. Epic 7. Oh, so... Quan, the thing... oh, not Quan. Knifeful. This is just for fun. The main channel will always be Epic 7, and I will always stick to the Epic 7 schedule. This channel will always come first, as long as Epic 7 is relevant. Because I really like Epic 7. It's my main game. It's the main game that I actually try. Maybe try Tekken. I could try Tekken, although I would probably suck. Oh, I have Melty Blood, although it's on Twitch, which sucks. Kind of messed up on that. But I did start getting into it. I kind of suck at it, but I'm getting better. So yeah, that's the games I play, in case y'all were curious. So I do play quite a bit. Most people that game a lot. So yeah, that's just throwing it out there. That's something that is still in the works. I might start the channel this week because there's a guide I really want to make for one of the games, but I realize I can't post it here. But this would be like my playground channel kind of thing, where I'm literally just making fun stuff because I like talking with people. I like the community. I probably will have to make it. I will definitely make another icon for it too. So you're gonna play Epic 7 until server shuts down? Pretty much. Unless they do something that's horrific. But yeah, Finn. And the thing about it is I'm gonna play around with titles. One thing I don't do really aggressive titles is because I hate failing in the main channel, right? I don't like failing. But one of the guides, the first guide that's technically on the channel, it's like, don't be a noob with this character. Like, it would be like, how to not be a noob. Like, I've always wanted to be more aggressive about my titles and more clickbaity, but that's not who I am for this channel. That's not what this channel was founded on, right? So this will definitely be a playground channel. So, and I will definitely not be posting consistently on that channel. I'm just gonna post whenever the hell I feel like, which I know it's really bad for YouTube algorithm, but it's just my playground place. When you're set to free yourself from the oh, I forgot about League of Legends. I do play League. I was not actually bad at it. I wasn't a scrub, but I wasn't that good either. The community is too toxic, which is why I would never consider making League content. The community is not great. Not great. But the music's heat. I stopped playing League after I graduated from high school, which was a very long time ago. That was like 6 years ago? 6 years ago. I occasionally get back on when I want to catch up with old friends, or whenever like someone hits me up and we just play some Rams. But I quit that game because it eats up so much time. And that's why I got into mobile gaming, because I just don't have a lot of time to just play these like sit down games so often, right? Because like League, it used to be like 3-hour sessions, right? And it just didn't, like, that's too much time. And you have to physically be sitting down and paying attention for those full 40 minutes. Whereas for, like, mobile games, you can just quit. Or even something like Smash. You can just play some quick ones. In an hour, you're tired, you can just quit out and you're done. You don't have to sit for 40 minutes if you're tired, right? But I don't know. That's just some food for thought. I don't know if I'm actually going to end up doing it. I've talked around a little bit. It looks like you guys are excited. So I will definitely make community posts about it when that happens. I will update the Discord and all that good stuff. And it'll be a good time, you know, just have fun and just play games with people. I think it'd be fun to do. That's a really high chance for failure, which is one of the reasons why I'm like hesitant to do it. But that's why I really have to get in the mindset. If I just do it for fun, will I actually enjoy it? That's the thing I do have to answer for myself before I actually start the channel, because it is a pretty big time commitment to the second channel. But it also has a possibility to succeed, which would be really cool, because then we can grow a community. But yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for sticking around and talking and chilling and relaxing. But that is actually all I have for you guys today. Hopefully y'all enjoyed all of this. I don't expect to make money from it, even from Epic 7. I mean, like, it's kind of nice because it feeds into my gacha addiction. All the money I make from YouTube goes back into gacha games. But I don't expect for it to succeed. That's what I want to make it do. It's just for fun, which is how I really started Epic 7, right? It was never for me to actually make money off of YouTube. I legit did it because I just felt like I wasn't doing anything by playing Epic 7. And I was like, why not just make a YouTube video? And I was doing it during quarantine too. So I didn't have anything to do. And it was just give me something to do, right? So I got something to do. I had fun doing it. And that's why we're still here to this day. So, you know, everything has a positive side. But that's all I got for you guys today. Hope you all enjoyed, and I will definitely see you guys next time. Peace.